beautiful course. I've never been to Lake Superior. I didn't realize we were so close to Canada either. Again, I didn't look at the map, but it's just 700 miles straight up. And it is a beautiful course. The race is awesome. It brings a lot of really fast people, so a lot of pros. And I want to do a shout out to Eric Strand of Drury Hotels. He famously does the Grandma's Double. What is that, you ask? He wakes up at 2 a.m. and runs the course backwards to the finish line, or excuse me, to the start line. And then when the race starts, turns around and runs it back.
Oh, come on.
So he runs.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. 52 miles.
What an overachiever.
Now, hey, listen,
what are we doing here?
Until he actually runs it backwards, I don't even want to hear about it.
like
running backwards. Yeah.
Physically
like
backwards.
Backpedaling, yes.
Yeah.
Now that would be something. Is there a backwards marathon?
There is a record, and it's really fast. I think the guy ran like 240 something running backwards.
Come on, really?
Yes. He's Googling it.
2 hours and 40 minutes running a marathon
really
backwards.
Fast. 40 something, maybe 250.
That's outrageous.
I know, because they have all these records like fastest marathon dressed as a banana. Fastest
what is that one?
Marathon, it's fast. Dressed as in a business suit. But Ron, you will appreciate this. Because it's a point-to-point, you had to get up early and then ride a bus. They put all the runners in school buses and bus them out to the start line.
Oh, no.
And then you run back to Duluth. And on the bus, I told everyone within earshot your pirate joke about the pirate with the steering wheel.
Did it kill?
Killed it.
Yeah.
Will you tell the joke?
So I've told the joke before.
Have you?
Yeah. Do you want to hear it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So folks,
Kevin?
imagine this. It's 5:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
We're on a
This
school
is pre-race.
bus. Pre-race on a school bus on a 45-minute drive out to the start line.
Pirate walks into a bar, Dave, and he gets into the bar, and the bartender looks at him and says, "Hey, you know you have a steering wheel on your pants. It's on the front of your pants." Because the pirate's got a steering wheel on the front of his pants. And the pirate says, "Yar, it's driving me nuts."
That's horrible.
That's a great one, and it killed on the bus of marathoners.
Yeah.
I believe she said, though, half the people laughed.
Because
Well, the ones that could hear.
The ones that could hear me.
Yeah.
There was this guy sitting next to me, and after the bus ride ended, he goes, "Thank you for the joke. I'm going to use that."
Yes.
Yeah.
Did he say it like that?
Yeah.
He was kind of a serious
I was
dude.
going to say, that's pretty
Here's the
intense.
thing about marathon
Although it is before
runners.
a marathon, I guess you kind of need to be intense.
I guess, yeah, I have one time.
Okay,
What?
no, I'm so glad you brought this because you want to relax beforehand. So on the drive to the buses, we started singing "I Threw It on the Ground." We listened to that from Lonely Island. I threw it on the ground. That song?
I don't even know this one. You brought this up earlier, and I don't know it. I don't remember it.
We'll rejoin with it to see if anybody recognizes
Well, Amy's alive. That's the good news.
Good
She made
news.
it.
Amy's
Way to go,
back.
Amy.
A lot of ground to cover here on the show.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 11:20 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
Well, McKnight Place Assisted Living and Memory Care is welcoming new residents. And you know McKnight Place for the absolute highest quality amenities, their personalized services, and expert care. But really, it's their history of making people a priority that sets them apart from many other senior communities. A lot of senior communities are owned by large national companies, and that can lead to a corporate environment with no personal touch. That is the exact opposite of what McKnight Place is like and has been for over 30 years. The owners are local. They all have on-site offices, and that means that residents and their family members have access to the decision makers every single day. And of course, it's the details. McKnight Place is so warm and inviting and cozy and luxurious. It's a place where your loved one will be proud to live and where you can see yourself visiting because in a lot of ways, when a loved one moves into a senior living community, the family moves with them. And you'll enjoy these spacious apartments with the tall windows and custom cabinets in the kitchen, or the outdoor spaces with beautiful landscaped gardens and walking paths. Visit them today at 314-993-3333 or McKnightPlace.com.
This is a call to the self-starters, to the self-made and the self-sufficient. It's time to declare a new kind of independence. Because Edelman Financial Engines is here to provide tailored investment solutions for your kind of wealthy. You should expect more from your wealth advisors. Our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research, and our planners don't sell products to earn commissions. And because we're here for those who question the answers, we model more than 38,000 securities so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. So no matter where you're going next, see what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines, built for those who built themselves.
If you're planning to sell your St. Louis area home, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. This is Debbie Monterey, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees, and she has options to help every type of home seller because she understands that every situation is different. If you need to sell your home quickly, but you're worried about finding your next home, Gloria has your answers and solutions. Gloria has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers, no showings, no hassles, and you pick the closing date even up to a year, giving you the cash and time needed to find your next home. Call Gloria Liu and ask her about the instant cash offer guarantees or other options that will help you sell fast and for the most money. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Guys, I want to talk to you for a minute, man to man, about erectile dysfunction and PE. How are you doing in the bedroom? Are you still the man you used to be? Or are you feeling the disappointment of ED? Are you experiencing the embarrassment of PE? Happens to a lot of us. That's why you should call Paramount Men's Medical Center. Their licensed physicians can help solve your problem. They'll talk to you about ED or PE. They'll offer custom blended medications. There's no pain or surgery. And you'll see results right in the office at Paramount Men's Medical Center. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. And it's affordable. So, man to man, contact Paramount Men's Medical Center now for a private consultation. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Trusted information, live and local. From the award-winning KMOX newsroom.
I was walking through the city streets, and a man walks up to me and hands me the latest energy drink. Run faster, jump higher. Man, I'm not gonna let you poison me. I threw it on the ground.
All right, back in on the show. Amy Markscores, Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler. If you're watching on Facebook.com/KMOX1120, you saw Amy throw it on the ground, as the man said, throw it on the ground. That was the song you guys were.
So, yeah, it was a song we sang in our car. And then at miles 6, 7, 8, we had a little pace group around us. All of us were trying to run the same pace. It was like about 5 girls, a couple guys. We had a nice little group. Many feet make the miles light. So we were all together. And my coach goes, "Do you have a song stuck in your head? You know, if you need one, I've got songs." And I said, No. It's like, this is what I'm singing. And because it was a joke between me and my coach and no one else around us, I'm like, "I threw it on the ground." They're like, that's not my dad. That's a cell phone. And there are about 3 people who got it and started just laughing hysterically because it was the last thing they expected to hear.
3 people out of how many?
Out of our group of 7.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's almost 50%.
Yeah, it's not
Be getting there.
Not a bad
By the way, a texter for you from a 217 says, Amy, I had COVID at the very beginning of the outbreak. It was weeks before I felt right in terms of distance running. Good for you for pushing through to the finish.
There you go.
Oh,
and you know what?
you.
I thought Amy, I had forgotten. I remember she had told me she had COVID, but I thought it was like 2-3 months ago. It was pretty recent.
It was a month ago, right?
It was 4.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's going to affect you.
4.5 weeks ago that I tested positive.
Yeah.
Not since
you finished
better.
with it.
Yeah. So I had one workout, but I really did think I was okay. And no, thank you to the texter, because you kind of feel like you're going crazy. you're like, what's happening? I know that I should be okay.
All right, coming up bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Gene Evans, former chairperson of the Missouri GOP, about the ad that has made some noise. And, Raj and I talked about it yesterday, but Amy, you were actually the one that sent it to us. I guess in transit, you were messing around on the phone, you sent it in, and you're the only one here. You're the only one in here that hasn't really had a chance to. No, she was probably writing and tweeting, I would guess. Or were you driving?
She was driving and tweeting.
No, I was probably. Here's the thing. I drove home on Sunday.
Oh, so you were okay.
Yeah, I drove home on Sunday.
So you were just normal to yesterday, just recover yesterday. Okay,
I was on the couch on Monday. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you actually sent this to us, and we threw it into the show because it was fascinating, and it's the new Eric Greitens ad, and we've all described it. We know what it looks like. Some of the latest, by the way, today was banned by Facebook. So it is no longer available on their platform. It is still, last I checked, still on Twitter and obviously other.
And Twitter has the notification.
Yeah. The warning, if you will. And then Raj and I talked about it yesterday, but you haven't had a chance to give your 2 cents. So why don't you go first, and then we'll advance the story with Gene Evans coming up in a few minutes.
Sure. And there are a lot of different angles. So I will just give you my gut reaction. This was my initial reaction when I saw it. And I was incredulous because it seemed to be in such poor taste. It was wildly irresponsible considering the current climate we're in, when we've seen overheated political rhetoric, a lot of it calling for violence or using violent language, that even if someone has a right to make this video at this time, it is so deeply irresponsible. You had an assassination attempt on the Supreme Court judge, Justice Kavanaugh. You have the January 6th hearings. And when you couple a violent message, even though Greitens has said it's a joke or a metaphor, when you couple a violent message with the correlating message, if Democrats take over or if we let rhinos run the Republican Party, everything you value in America will fall apart. Violence as a joke, coupled with a very real existential crisis, is an incredibly dangerous combination. And so I was just shocked. And also, this wasn't a campaign ad against a Democratic opponent.
Which would also not be okay.
No, it's not. This is a campaign ad against rhinos, Republicans in name only. By the way, in 2015, Mr. Eric Greitens was a Democrat, so not sure how he became the poster child for a true Republican. And again, the definition of rhino is ever changing. It's amoebic. It doesn't stand for anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, how devoted are you to Trump, and whatever happens to tickle their fancies at that moment, because there was no supporter who was more loyal, no apologist for Trump who was more consistent than Mike Pence. And Trump turned on him in a dime, on a dime, and suddenly Mike Pence is the worst traitor and a rhino in the country. This very idea of rhinos is also cannibalistic, because anybody could be considered a rhino at any moment, because rhinos, the definition of rhino is non-existent. It's just the political whims. It's just, how loyal are you to Trump?
What's unsettling about it is, there are a number of things unsettling about it, but it's now become, if you don't agree with me, you're not even worthy of being here. And I know that what he probably intended was for it to be a joke. I'm guessing,
we have a clip
he thought
he spoke with Ryan Recker on 97.1, and we'll play a little bit of that later on in the show. He was saying clearly that it wasn't serious. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously.
Right. But again, there are unwell people who will not take it that way. And you cannot just label the people you don't like or agree with as enemies.
Yes. And I cannot stress this enough. And this whole Greitens movement, right, to hunt the rhinos, is contingent on having people you disagree with, because it's fueled by outrage. It's worse standing up for something. It's this faux outrage. So if you remove the outrage, you castrate the movement. There's no movement here, because you have to be angry at people. I am a evangelical Christian conservative homeschooler. I'd be the people that Eric Greitens is hunting.
Yeah.
They're little LARPing as pseudo-patriot tryhards, And it's not, they're not going after the Viet Cong in Vietnam. It'd be like me and John Hancock. Get a life.
Summer weather in St. Louis.
Potentially record-breaking temperatures.
Dangerous heat wave lasting through much of this week. When it comes to hot weather, we say no sweat.
Record-breaking temperatures today, and oh yes, humidity too.
Stay up to date with the latest forecast, mornings and afternoons.
Evening temperatures will be in the 90s.
And when severe weather hits, the KMOX Air Comfort Heating and Cooling Storm Center has it covered. Summer weather forecasts. On air, online, 98.7 FM, 1120 AM, KMOX.com.
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
At 420id.com, we make it easy to get your Missouri medical marijuana card. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in, so why wait? 420ID is the only company that provides you with a real plastic ID card and have served over 19,000 happy Missouri patients. Open late every day until 9 p.m. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420id.com. Today is the day to sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card at 420id.com. Use promo code RADIO and save $30 today. That's 420id.com.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 314-946-9999. We buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, you're not sure where you're going to go, you can sign a contract with us. We are the buyer, and we can provide a flexible closing date for you. Once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back. A lot of people aren't sure where they're going to move next, and we can make it easy on you. ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
At 10:30, it's 87 degrees. It feels like 91 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. The head of the Texas Department of Public Safety says 3 minutes after a gunman entered a school where he slaughtered 19 elementary students and 2 teachers, there was sufficient armed law enforcement on scene to stop the gunman. Yet police officers armed with rifles stood and waited in a school hallway for nearly an hour while the gunman carried out the massacre. Colonel Steve McCaw, director of the Texas Department of Public Safety, called the police response at a hearing today an abject failure. The United States Supreme Court has ruled that Maine cannot prohibit parents from using a state tuition program to send their children to religious private schools. Workers at the Starbucks on 5th Street in St. Charles are joining 7 other area Starbucks in a move to unionize. The hourly baristas are organizing with Workers United SEIU and have filed the National Labor Relations Board and have filed 4 National Labor Relations Board elections. So far, 3 elections have been successful in the St. Louis area. Taking a look at the commute. Watch for a stalled vehicle northbound 55 on the ramp from Gasconade. Be prepared to stop in that location. And the KMOX forecast, hot, sunny, and humid. The high 100 that breaks a record set in 1933 of 99 degrees. Right now, we have sunny skies. It's 87 degrees. It feels like 91 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
A bad team facing a good team is never completely out of it.
Nick Kostos, co-host of You Better You Bet, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on the BetQL network.
There's 162 games in the season. The best teams are going to lose 60-plus times, and the worst teams are going to win 60-plus times. Each night is its own individual entity. That's what makes betting on the baseball regular season so much fun.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos and Ken Barkley, streaming weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey.
Stl Fenceworks has been proudly serving the St. Louis, the St. Charles, the Warren, and Franklin counties for over 50 years, way back in 1971 when Russ and Carolyn Long opened Stl Fenceworks, and now their son, Sean Timothy Long, he's the STL and Stl Fenceworks. He runs the company. So when you work with them, you know that you are working with a family-owned and operated company and a locally owned and operated company. And you can know that in over half a century of service, their commitment to a quality and customer first approach has never waived. Your project will be completed by an experienced craftsman in a timely manner. And their lifetime warranty reinforces that commitment. Stl Fenceworks has a lifetime warranty that surpasses anything else offered in the industry. And right now, they have more deck and fence materials on hand than they've had at any other time in their 50-year history. That means when you order a project from Stl Fenceworks, there's no long lead-in time. Check them out today at stlfenceworks.com. It's 10:33.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, Glover here for Svedka Vodka Soda. Go to the next level. Replace your go-to cocktail with Svedka Vodka Soda. Canned vodka cocktails made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water at 8% ABV. Visit svedka.com today. Go responsibly.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs, 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Join me Monday mornings at 9:50 for our new feature, 5 Minutes with Number 5. And you know who that is, Albert Pujols. 5 Minutes with Number 5, Mondays at 9:50 a.m. on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Tuesday morning on the show, Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here, and happy to have Gene Evans, former chairperson of the Missouri GOP, with us here on a Tuesday. And Gene, first of all, thank you. Welcome to the show. We appreciate your time today. Hope things are going reasonably well.
Yes, thanks for having me. And I just want to say I'm so proud of Amy for finishing the race. As a fellow athlete, I've been in a similar situation in a different sport, and you just got to finish, even when you don't win.
Oh, thank you so much, Gene. That means a lot. Oh, okay.
and there's more.
And that's really all the only reason we had you on.
Yeah. Thanks, Gene. Good talking to you.
That was great.
Okay, well, let me jump in now. Oh, that was amazing.
I guess we're done here.
Okay, Gene, I want to get your perspective on the Greitens Ad, hunting rhinos. It's open season for rhinos. We've talked about this before. After January 7th, when I spoke about what happened at the Capitol, I got a lot of really, really hateful comments and emails and letters, and all of them were from within the Republican Party, saying that I'm the reason why the country is going to hell. And I know you experienced also the division within the Republican Party. What were your thoughts on the ad?
Yeah, well, I think, if you've had those kind of threats hurled at you, you take that a little differently. So I don't want to rehash the past, but, people were making threats to us at the party to step up and help the president more before January 6th. And I didn't take it that seriously. It was disturbing, but I didn't know they were going to storm the Capitol, obviously. But I think that Greitens is trying to target a certain segment of voters. In this primary, he probably only needs 190,000 votes to win. And then he will be the nominee, and he has a decent chance of becoming the U.S. Senator. So if he can just energize and mobilize about 190,000 Republican primary voters, he can win. And I think that's what he's trying to do here, even though he's alienating the rest of us.
So it's got to be unsettling to you. I know it is to Amy. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time. So it has to be unsettling that this is the way, and I can't imagine this will be the last time a politician attempts to win a primary or an election by going this route.
No, we hear this rhetoric all the time. I mean, Schumer saying to the Supreme Court, we're coming for you. And then you actually have someone coming for Kavanaugh. Mm-hmm. These words have meaning, and there are people out there that are susceptible to this, whether they're mentally ill or just crazy, and our leaders need to be more responsible.
Yeah, I'm glad you point that out. A couple of years ago on the steps of the Supreme Court, Schumer did say that, he called out Kavanaugh and Gorsuch by name and said, you have released the whirlwind. You will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. So there is that escalation of rhetoric. And for me, if it's wrong when Schumer says those things, it's wrong when Republicans say those things. I thought the Greitens ad was highly irresponsible and inappropriate. But my one thought was, and maybe this is me being an optimist, Gene, and I'd love to get your thoughts. There is a division within the Republican Party. And do you see, as the Greitens side, that team becomes a bit more violent and turning its back on other Republicans, that maybe the type of Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger Republicans will stand up and say, no, this is not the direction we want the party to go in. We want to restore a true conservative values Republican Party.
Yeah, I think you're already seeing that, but I don't think we're anywhere near healing. There was a lot of nasty rhetoric in the state house this year, and there were some threats made. Certain folks were called rhinos for supporting different maps when it came to the redistricting. And the Highway Patrol is involved. Certain of our elected leaders who are Republicans received credible threats, at least as believed by the Missouri Highway Patrol, and I have no reason to doubt them. So they had to provide protection to these leaders from members of their own party who were calling them rhinos and saying they were coming to they're coming for you, right? Like, we don't know what that means anymore, but when they're publishing an address on the internet and saying we're coming for you, law enforcement gets involved, as they should.
It's interesting to me, Gina, that we all there have been let's say statements. There have been people using words in horrible ways in politics for a number of years. We're coming for you is obviously an example of that. I think there's a difference between that, because if Eric Greitens had an ad yesterday that was just him standing there sitting on a porch and said, we're coming for the rhinos, I don't think we're even talking about it today. It's the imagery of busting into somebody's house surrounded by people in tactical gear and holding a shotgun, given the current environment, is more the issue here, right?
Oh, I agree 100%. And I think he's kind of walking it back a little bit by saying it was a joke, right? Like, that's what you say when you say something or do something completely inappropriate. You go, oh, it was just a joke. I mean, I don't do that, but people like you do. So
I do it all the time in this room.
So I think he recognizes that he went a little too far. Now they're trying to say it's a joke and it's faux outrage and the snowflakes and the rhinos are outraged, but he is a real threat to becoming the next U.S. Senator from Missouri. And we have plenty of other options. So Republican primary voters need to elect somebody else. And if they don't, he may be beaten by a Democrat, but he may not. I just don't know. It'll be a toss-up for sure.
Do you see any de-escalation of the political rhetoric that we just talked about? Amy Coney Barrett now has people protesting at her house, but the pro-choice activists who are protesting also put the address of her kids' schools online. I mean, which is just crossing a line. And you see that. You see the Greitens video, and everything.
The Kinzinger letter.
The letter to Adam Kinzinger saying that, threatening to execute Adam Kinzinger and his wife. This is really disturbing imagery and threats and action that we're seeing.
Well, we have to get both sides to agree that all of it is bad. It's so easy to just point out what the other side is doing and not take responsibility for folks on our own side of the fence. So that would be a big step, whether it's Schumer, McConnell, Biden, Trump, to take responsibility for this type of language and how it affects certain people and to tone it down. And I just don't see that kind of leadership right now in our country. But I do think things are changing a little bit here in Missouri. We'll see after these primary elections. But it comes back down to not enough folks vote in their primaries. They think all the action is in November, when truly these decisions are made in primaries.
Gene, you said earlier that you think we're a long way away from healing. I don't know if it's possible to estimate how long that might take, because for a lot of us who are just really looking at the environment, it feels like we are an eternity away from that.
I think it's going to take a really dynamic leader to come along that people can get behind. On our side, I look at Tim Scott out of South Carolina, senator. I mean, he's fantastic. He understands the complexity of these issues. It can break them down pretty simply, and he's got broad appeal. That's someone that I would, look to. I'm sure there are folks on the Democrat side who could possibly offer a more unified vision that is not so divisive.
Mm-hmm.
But both sides feel like traitors in their own party, I'm using their words, traitors in their own party have sold them out. So whether you're, Cori Bush complaining about the Biden agenda or, Eric Greitens complaining about the McConnell agenda, the problems are inter-party and they're terrible. It's the people in your own party are far meaner to you than the folks on the other side of the aisle most times. That's been my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gene, we'll close on this because, the idea here should be that we all have more in common than we have in terms of differences, that the enemy of the Republican Party is not the Democratic Party. The enemy of the Democratic Party is not the Republican Party. The enemies are outside entities that want to damage the United States. And we play into that by doing all of this. And Amy made a great point. So I don't want to make it for you. I want you to, because we were talking about this during the break, and she painted a picture that I think was important.
Yeah, I mean, you can have profound disagreements with Hillary Clinton or Liz Cheney, but I have talked to Afghan refugees, female Afghan refugees, and what they've seen in Kabul and in their hometowns in Afghanistan. And if you put Hillary Clinton and Liz Cheney and Eugene and me on the streets in Kabul, we're suddenly on the same side. And we realize how much we have in common as we see the atrocities that the Taliban is committing against women. Hillary Clinton is not my enemy in that situation. And it puts it in perspective that there's a very big difference between having an actual enemy and having someone with whom you disagree.
So true. I agree 100%. And sometimes it takes an outside force to unify people. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I'd hate to see us go to war or face an invasion. But I think it's important for people to remember that our enemies do help spread this messaging, whether it's the Chinese or the Russians. They help push these narratives through social media because they know America Divided is weaker and more capable of being taken over by them and their ideology.
Gene, we appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this. And we'll definitely look forward to doing it soon, hopefully on a slightly more pleasant conversation.
I hope so. Thank you.
You got it. That's Gene Evans, former chairperson of the Missouri GOP. And I think that is it, right? That last part, to me, should be the bigger message of all of it. Unfortunately, at the very top of the power structure in politics, we don't have any leadership on that at all. At the very top. It's too much about we have to win. How do we win? We win by making our opponent the enemy, not just an opponent, not just somebody that we need, that we want to argue with or disagree with, but someone that we have to defeat. And the problem is by doing this, we're actually defeating ourselves.
And what concerns me is there could be a really, as Gene said, a dynamic leader that comes along that appeals to a lot of people, but there's always going to be an outlet that wants to paint that person as divisive, no matter what they say. Remember when Obama, when he took, he made his speech the night he won, he said to the people who voted against me, I will be your president too. And what did they paint him as? Divisive. So I am very concerned that we are ever going to get to a place where we don't do that to the other side.
Yeah, there's no money in keeping things calm.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to connect communities through financial outreach and economic opportunity. Building a stronger, more vibrant community, Busey offers tools and resources to individuals, families, and business owners to achieve financial success. Building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Busey Bank, member FDIC.
And here's what's on tap, brought to you by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Does drinking coffee make you spend more money? New study results are out. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in the neighborhood with Banner Construction. St. Louis's preferred James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home. Call Banner Construction, 314-569-1050.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Lockheed Martin understands what it takes to accomplish critical missions around the globe. They know it begins with long-standing partnerships rooted in expertise, interoperability, and trust. The most critical missions call for the F-35. It is essential to Allied air power. Across the growing community of F-35 nations, the need for alliance-based deterrence against evolving threats is stronger than ever. Lockheed Martin, your mission is ours.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
With Pedal the Cause, you can make a real difference in the fight against cancer. Ride your bike, grab a spot in the spin zone, volunteer, and join the celebration September 23rd through 25th. 100% of participant-raised funds support innovative cancer research at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Together, we can create a world without cancer. Get started now at pedalthecause.org. That's pedalthecause.org.
Community Living Incorporated is a local nonprofit organization on a mission to provide services and create opportunities for people with disabilities. See how you can get involved at communitylivingmo.org.
Members of Children's Miracle Network hospitals treat more than 10 million children each year. Your local member hospital ensures that every child receives the best possible care. Show your support at cmnhospitals.org because kids can't wait. Visit cmnhospitals.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 314-441-4444. Chris Ranji.
Wonderful bones, great eyes, and you dress really interesting.
On the show.
All right, Tuesday morning here on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And Amy, you in the What's on Tap, you teased something that well, let's be honest, it intrigued me. There's always, first of all, do we do just like weekly studies on coffee?
Yeah.
Because I feel like every few days we have a new study like coffee will make you brilliant. Coffee will kill you early. Coffee
will make you live longer.
What's coffee doing now?
Okay, here's what coffee's doing now. Coffee and credit cards may be a financial planner's worst nightmare, according to researchers from the University of South Florida. So scientists report.
Is that what it says?
It says
from where? Does it say where?
No, I know. It's like the science version of some people.
Some people say.
Some people are saying.
The quote is, scientists report shoppers who sip on a complimentary cup of coffee before shopping ended up spending 50% more money and buying 30% more items than their non-caffeinated counterparts. This is...
Oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, because...
It's the Frank Harvey Endowed Professor of Marketing at USF.
Okay, so University of South Florida. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That makes total sense to me. Do you know why? Because you have that first few sips of coffee. There's, for me, it's like sip number 4 where I really feel it. Like, oh, this is going to be great. This day is going to be amazing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're in a great mood and you're at the mall walking around, you just want to spend a bunch of money.
You spend a lot of time at the
I
mall.
love the mall. I love the mall.
Are you a mall walker?
Yeah. That's what that lady said to me. The worst insult of my entire life was a lady who worked at the mall who asked me if I was a mall walker. Oh,
cute.
God, it was no, it's not cute. It was the worst.
It's because you look older than you are.
God, I wish things would happen to you.
But not
Like-
as old as the picture we posted yesterday on Twitter.
Which I didn't.
Oh.
Was he wearing a different shirt? I don't understand.
No, I look like Kevin used the face app that makes you look old or makes you look younger or whatever. And my photo, I look like Richard Attenborough.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Waiting
it's-
for you to extract dino DNA from Amber.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's how they did
I
this
spared
study.
no expense.
Researchers set up an espresso machine at the entrances of retail chain and home goods stores in France and in Spain.
Uh-huh.
And upon entering those stores, over 300 shoppers received a complimentary coffee cup, right? And there was nothing in it. And then those who got the espresso
Mhm.
spent 50% more than those who did
Yep.
not take the espresso.
Yep.
You know what my two favorite things
Beavis
are?
and Butthead had it right.
What'd they say?
Caffeine makes Beavis cornholio. And he,
Oh,
and he
wow.
loses his mind and
Oh,
he's
God.
crazy.
Okay.
It does. Like you
And then you guys are just telling me that's what happens.
when
People
you
turn
have
into Beavis.
Kevin, when you've got the energy that
Yeah.
you've gotten from the coffee,
Uh-huh.
like you want to visit as many stores as possible. When you haven't had the coffee, you're like, I just want to go home.
Do you know
Yeah.
my
You know?
Yeah.
two favorite things in the whole world are? Coffee and shopping.
Hmm.
I love it.
So you were like the focus group for this study.
Coffee is like
See?
a performance
By the way, I
enhancing
don't like
drug.
shopping at all. I like buying.
Yeah.
I don't
but
want to
you
walk
gotta-
around and look at stuff. I just want to, there's a thing I want. I want to go buy it.
I get it. That makes perfect sense. But this is why Nordstrom has a coffee shop, like their own coffee shop, right outside the store. As you're walking in,
Mhm.
it's right there. And every Nordstrom, no matter where you go to, doesn't matter what city, they got a coffee shop right there. It's a Nordstrom coffee shop. I don't know what it's called. I think it's just called that. But yeah, they know. They probably were ahead of the game.
Yeah, Nordstrom's always ahead of the game.
Yeah, they really
I mean,
are.
the companies do study all of this stuff in advance.
Yeah, they're not
Oh,
stupid.
have you ever
Marketing
looked,
and advertising is all about this kind of thing.
have you ever seen the science behind grocery store setups and the way they put like produce in the front and they put essentials like milk way in the back, the music they play, the what's at eye level, the products that are at eye level?
Mhm.
It is like, what is it? The Social Dilemma, that movie. It's like the grocery store
It's the
version
algorithm.
of that.
It's the grocery store algorithm.
It's the grocery store algorithm.
That's why people who sell to grocery stores, like they try to get good placement.
Yeah.
Like they work really hard at that.
Location.
Yes, that's it.
I've heard that before.
But that's
My
usually
mom
about
used to say
housing.
that. She goes, you know what they say? Real estate, real estate, real estate. And we looked at her and we thought, it's close. I'm not sure that's it.
There's always something a little off.
Stick around. Hour 2 of the show next on KMOX.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
CertaPro painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
The power of precision.
That's the power of a skilled local team who know what they're doing.
The power of accurate estimate.
Estimates, not guesstimates.
The power of certainty.
CertaPro Painters. That's the power of pro. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Soaring inflation, rising interest rates, stock market volatility, and higher taxes. How will these unprecedented challenges impact you and your retirement? Find out in a one-night adult education class, Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how to overcome the unprecedented challenges facing the next wave of retirees. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. Learn from a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. Register now by calling 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
Getting coverage from the right health insurance shouldn't be complicated. Health Markets can help you search for a plan that fits your needs and budget with just a few clicks and questions. Health Markets scans and ranks insurance plans to find the right fit for you. Apply for whatever type of insurance you need: health, Medicare, dental, vision, life, and more. You can shop online at healthmarkets.com/easy or call one of our local licensed insurance agents by calling 833-833-5570. Take advantage of one-stop shopping to get free quotes and compare products from recognized insurance companies in your area. Get started today for free by visiting healthmarkets.com/easy or by calling 833-833-5570. That's healthmarkets.com/easy or call 833-833-5570. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed as an insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Service and product availability varies. Sales agents may be compensated based on enrollment.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis.
An Odyssey station.
Not all windows are created equal. See things more clearly with an STL Windows Direct window. Compare the difference at STLWindowsDirect.com. STLWindowsDirect.com.
STL Windows Direct.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies. It's 89 degrees. It feels like 93 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel with our top story. The United States Supreme Court ruling that Maine cannot prohibit parents from using a state tuition program to send their children to religious private schools. The decision released today was a 6-3 ruling. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum weighs in on what it means.
The Supreme Court is saying that if state money is going to be used to help parents find a school where there are no available public schools, then the state can't discriminate against parents who wish to send their children to religious schools, even those that teach with a sectarian, religiously based mindset.
The head of the Texas Department of Public Safety now calling the law enforcement response to the massacre at the Robb Elementary School an abject failure. Testifying at a Texas Senate hearing into the deadly shooting, Colonel Steve McCraw says there were enough police officers on hand that could have stopped the gunman 3 minutes after he entered the building. Yet police officers armed with rifles stood and waited in a school hallway for nearly an hour while the gunman carried out the massacre, killing 19 students and 2 teachers. McGraw summarized the missteps along the way.
The only thing stopping a hallway of dedicated officers from entering room 111 and 112 was the on-scene commander, who decided to place the lives of officers before the lives of children.
A political historian says an ad by Republican U.S. Senate candidate Eric Greitens may end up benefiting Democrats. Dr. Don Heidenreich, Lindenwood University history professor, says it's not the fact that the ad features Greitens and a commando team with military rifles, because guns in political ads is not uncommon.
But in most cases, when you see people use them,
It's usually, shooting at a target, or you see a number of them had like bills that they were going to do something about, or maybe they're shooting at a car that says taxes on it or whatever. The idea of actually talking about people and then including the firearms, that's a bit different.
This video is bad.
That is Lucas Coons, former Marine and Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate, who does not find the Greitens ad about hunting rhinos, Republicans in name only, funny, despite Greitens' insistence that people should find the humor.
I think he wants people to think it's literal. I think he's going for shock value, and he's one of those guys, again, who they will say something to see what the response is and then play it off as a joke.
Coons on Total Information AM on KMOX called Greitens a criminal who, because he was in power, was able to make deals to keep himself from facing consequences. Meanwhile, Greitens doesn't think people will take his ads seriously.
I don't think there's a real person in Missouri who thinks about it literally.
Greitens was on our conservative sister station 97.1. Calls from KMOX News to Eric Greitens to be interviewed on our station were not returned. The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk lawsuits can continue against Bayer after a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court. The company, which bases its crop science division headquarters in Creve Coeur, had sought relief from lawsuits worth billions that contended Roundup caused cancer. The maker of the weed killer says they have already resolved 107,000 cases so far out of 138,000. The Dow from Stifel is up 498 points. There's a stalled vehicle northbound 270 past Manchester Road. That is on the right shoulder. The KMOX forecast, sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Sunny, hot, and humid this afternoon. The high 100, which would break the record of 99 set back in 1933. Warm and humid tonight, low 78. A chance for a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. Another hot and humid day tomorrow. Right now, it's sunny, 89, feels like 93. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Total Wine and More. When you discover a new favorite bottle of Cabernet or bourbon at Total Wine, you'll discover a whole lot more. So explore the wondrous selection and totally low prices at TotalWine.com, where you'll love what you find. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly, B21.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
On the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, of course, back from the marathon. Kevin Wheeler, in his normal spot, did not run a marathon. Neither did Ron. Neither of us did anything like that. So, nor would we ever.
No, we're not crazy.
If you'd like to stay in touch, we will have some reaction from listeners coming up at 12:30 today. So if you want to jump in and toss a voicemail into the mix, 314-944-1120. We're getting a lot of reaction on the Greitens ad and then a response to it. If you want to go that route, that's great. If you catch something else we're talking about, you're welcome to do that as well. So again, the voicemails are 314-944-1120. Text line 314-436-7900. Those will be getting into the mix coming up at 11:30. Obviously, if you go to @the-show KMOX on Twitter, everything you need to know about reaching us, watching us. Yes, watching us. Facebook.com/KMOX1120. YouTube.com/KMOX1120. Listening now, listening later on the Odyssey app. The podcasts are all up on the third-party podcast hosting services now, Spotify, iTunes,
nice.
The whole deal. So you can find them there too. If God forbid you can't listen to the entire 4 hours live, I mean, first of all, shame on you. But second of all, you can listen later. We'll forgive you.
Hey, Wheels, can I
Hey, Amy.
tell you something that I think is super impressive?
If it's about me, yes.
It's unfortunately not about you.
Dang
but
it.
we were talking about running marathons, right?
Yeah.
So I had several friends up there running grandmas. One of my friends.
That sounds
like Amy, a running grandma.
No, grandma running grandma's marathon.
Grandma's marathon.
Running grandma's has a totally different sound to it.
Grandma's is a store or something, right?
It's a saloon.
It's a saloon.
And
they
it's-
sponsor the marathon.
They do.
Right.
And
Okay.
we ate at the saloon afterwards, and it was very fun. It's actually a really cool saloon right on Lake Superior. But my friend Autumn, who was running the Grandma's Marathon, with us. We were all running different paces. But she, a half mile into a 26-mile race, caught her toe on, I don't know what, like a crack in the pavement, and fell so hard she split her knee open to the point that what they found out later was it needed stitches. She hurt her other knee. She jammed all three fingers. She doesn't think they're broken. One of the friends on the trip was a doctor, and he's like, they're not broken, but they're jammed. And then bruised and cut her shoulder. So she goes down a half mile into the race so hard that people around her are like, oh my gosh, are you okay? She said the adrenaline, right, coursed through her body. She jumped up and ran the remaining 26 miles and set a personal best. It was a personal best time for her. She crosses the finish line and her leg is just like caked in blood. And she goes to the medic tent, and the medic tent sends her to where the EMTs are. And they said, without getting too graphic, basically the blood had coagulated. She goes, I can't even tell how deep this is. And they had to clean it out.
Yeah,
and then said, we think she needs stitches. And she ran that race.
Yeah.
That injured.
That's pretty awesome. It's also going to suck for the next few days.
I know.
That's going to hurt so much.
Can you imagine?
Oh.
She's like, yeah, and it was hard getting my gels, like the energy gels that you have to take during the race. She said, because I couldn't use my hand. Because my three of my fingers were so jammed, she wasn't sure if they were broken.
Oh, man.
I know.
That I would be finished.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, they really are.
Crazy. She goes, well, what was I supposed to do?
No, like all of you. I mean, first it's
Yeah,
crazy
you
to
too.
just do that, but then on top of that, that's pretty amazing. You
Yeah.
said her name's Autumn?
Autumn.
That's badass.
You
Autumn.
drove
She is.
700 miles to run 26 miles. That's kind of crazy.
We drove 700 miles
To there.
to get to the bus that
Yeah.
bust us out another 26 miles to run back. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought even like no matter what sport you play, you could appreciate the toughness of Autumn.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I've not nothing to add other than that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for
that kind of thing is impressive.
Good for her. Amy, I'm very, very glad that nothing seriously bad happened to you.
Thank you.
Because Kevin and I were talking about it. I was rooting for some kind of chaos.
Well, of course.
I wanted a
Professor
story.
Chaos here, yeah.
I wanted a story.
Yeah.
And you have a story.
And what did I say I wanted?
You wanted her to finish first.
I wanted Amy to have her best race ever. That's what
Oh,
I wanted. And
yeah.
you were like, I just want a story.
I want a story.
Yeah.
And that's a great story. You got a good one.
That's a great
I
one.
do feel bad that you're feeling the effects of the COVID thing. I wish you
Yeah.
were. But by November, think about this. You're going to be several months removed
Mhm.
from having that. You should be good to go.
Honest to goodness, I feel like I'm tougher for having survived this race because I really think no matter how poorly November goes, I will not feel as bad as I felt in this race. Like, I don't think it's possible to feel that
Oh,
bad.
at first I thought you were talking about the election in November.
Oh.
Which is pretty tiring too.
Oh, yeah.
There should be a marathon during the election
I think
so
we're
you
all-
can not pay
I think
attention
at
to
the
any
end
of
of
it.
November, we're all going to be like,
Okay. Friendships are forged in the trenches, and I truly believe that if you had members of Congress train for marathon together, well, it would really thin the herd, that's for sure. But then
we should send them to boot camp.
they would bond.
We should send them to boot camp. Remember, like, so they did that for Saving Private Ryan. All of the actors had to train and work and live together in these crappy conditions, except for Matt Damon, because they wanted to create the animosity towards his character that you would see in the movie.
Oh.
So all of them had to do all of that except him. And then he gets brought in right in the middle, and they're all like, man, we hate that guy. And because they wanted that kind of emotional resentment to be a part of the movie.
That's incredible. That's called method acting. Did you know this?
But the point is,
Method
you're
acting.
right. No, that kind of thing does build camaraderie. They should have to go to camps. Like, they should have to go to boot camps and have drill sergeants put them through whatever paces they can go through. And then we come out, maybe you like each other a little bit more, or maybe you can work again, forget like each other. You don't have to like anybody, but be able to work together.
Yeah, you think a lot of things of Congress. Bastion of fitness hasn't ever come
Again,
to mind
it doesn't
when I
have to
think
be
of
even-
Congress, but maybe there are some fit people in Congress.
We can just tailor it to the individual needs. The point is that you're pushing people.
Yeah.
And you're making them work together, and you're showing them that they have to be a part of a
This
team.
would be a reality show.
Yes!
And then you
Oh,
vote.
no.
Who's the Survivor guy?
Well,
Mark
Very
Burnett.
girls. Oh.
Mark Burnett. Call Mark Burnett. Let's go.
the problem with it, and maybe you won't see it as a problem, is I'm not sure how many people will literally survive it.
But no, again, we tailor it to people's levels. So
Okay.
it's like grading on a curve. So if you're in terrible shape, okay, you're going to be challenged, but not the same way that, say, like Amy would be, who can run a marathon. Maybe for some people, it's run across the room.
You know, we were talking about this yesterday. Like of our last 5 presidents, 4 of them have been in pretty good shape. Like really, they could do things for their age.
For their age, sure,
Yeah.
sure. And although Clinton didn't need to wear the short shorts.
Well, but okay,
But that was a thing at the time.
That was a lot of thigh.
Yeah,
it
that
was a lot
thing
of
at the
thigh.
time,
Well,
though.
yeah, it was a thing at the time. But Clinton,
Until the Bulls.
yes,
Until the Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls with the big baggy shorts.
Michael Jordan was the first person to wear the long baggy shorts. Before that,
And then
everybody
Allen
had short
Iverson, he
shorts.
really took it to another level.
How did I not know this?
Oh, yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Clinton had a ticker problem, but he jogged,
Yeah.
right?
Jogged to McDonald's.
W.
And then Bush was a big jogger.
Mm-hmm.
Obama, he played basketball.
He did play basketball. He didn't jog. Biden rides his bike.
He rides his bike.
Stop.
Sometimes
using,
he falls.
Hey, listen. Stop using the straps on the bike. If you're not
Dude,
racing,
so
don't do the straps on the feet.
I told Kevin this yesterday. I reached out to a mutual friend of all of ours, somebody that we all know. I don't think I want to name his name because I'm not sure he wants that out there.
What
But
does it start with?
he's an avid cycler. Cyclist.
It's not.
Cyclist.
It's not Mark Reardon.
It's not Mark Reardon.
He is an avid cyclist, but it's
It's
not
nobody
Mark
in this
Reardon.
building.
Right.
He is an avid cyclist. And I said, do you have problems with those toe straps? And so there are toe straps, but then there are also clips.
Yeah.
And he said, clips, just forget about it. Like, don't
never
even
do clips.
Never do clips.
Yeah.
But he said, I've fallen on those a lot and the straps too, because if you don't get your foot out of it and you've stopped, your momentum stops. Like you're not going to be upright if your foot doesn't come out in time, which is what happened to
What's the
Biden.
point of any of those unless you're racing?
I don't get it.
Like if you're
why?
in a race and you're competing, I get it.
If
You don't
you're-
want a little bit of separation. But if you're just biking,
if you're going longer distance, and I'm guessing the president is not, but if you are going longer distance, you can hit your shin or your foot slips off the pedal. Like I can see how any type of clip or strap would be more comfortable. I
that
don't think
literally never
You'd have
happened
to
to
be
me in
going-
my entire life.
you
And
have
I've
to-
ridden
right.
bikes since I was a little kid.
And you'd have to be really
Listen,
fast.
This is my
guys,
point. If
I've
you're
been
racing,
riding my bike for years.
like if you're racing, of course it makes sense. Yeah, every kid rides a bike.
Well,
I never got smoked in the shin by my pedal.
but you should also never, if you have these stupid toe straps or clips or whatever, don't ever stop your bike before you get your foot out. Because
That's a pretty good
right.
advice.
Get your foot out first, and then you can slow
Or
your
just
momentum.
don't
And I will say,
put them on.
Biden's not at the top of his game, and he comes across as not inspiring. But the bike thing, I would fall off the bike.
Would you?
Yeah,
Oh, this one?
I fall in
She's
the
the
shower.
clumsiest. Yes,
Yeah.
she's the clumsiest person I've ever met.
It's so bad.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
If you're recently retired or nearing retirement, you've got your work cut out for you. Between soaring inflation, stock market volatility, and the threat of higher taxes, saving and investing alone won't be enough. Learn how you could overcome today's toughest retirement challenges in a one-night adult education class called Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have saved at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. This is your opportunity to learn from decades of financial planning experience. Call 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
See the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Call for an appointment. 314-966-5000.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey with a question facing homeowners. Would you sell your current home if you found your dream home? Well, of course you would. And that's why you need to call Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria has a program that eliminates the worry of selling your current home and having to find your next home with inventory being so low. Gloria is expert at finding listed and unlisted homes that match your specific criteria. Let Gloria know exactly what you're looking for, and she'll find your dream home in the neighborhood of your choice. Once Gloria finds a homeowner who may consider a sale but hasn't put it on the market yet, Gloria will inspect that home, set up a private no obligation showing, and negotiate on your behalf at no charge if you want to make an offer. If your offer is accepted, Gloria Lou will also help you sell your existing home. Learn more by calling Gloria Lou at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
I was out last night with my friend Patty from a radio station I can't mention because, this is going on other radio stations. It's a rock and roll station. But she has issues with her on her second floor. Her husband made a point, and she actually said it too, because I actually go out and run appointments. Call the office and ask them how much they like me being in the office. Then you'll know I am out on the street constantly, 12 hours a day, running service calls. So if you have a problem with your air conditioner, if it's broke, or if it's not cooling, or if somebody says you need a new system, please do yourself a favor, take the time, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Remember, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Do not call the wrong number. It is 314-293-2600. Bart Inman, Bart with a B, Inman with an I, 314-293-2600, or bartinman.com. Again, B-I. Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Nearly a century of informing, entertaining, and serving St. Louis. KMOX.
All right, it's Tuesday on the show. Amy, Mark, Scores, Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here on your home for the Cardinals, KMOX.
So I saw this story the other day, guys, and I wanted to wait until Amy got back because all of us here have a sports background of some kind. I mean, Amy's been doing more current events, political discussions over the last couple of years, but also was Blues pre and post.
Intermissions.
You did that for a long time. Kevin, obviously sports host. I have done the same for most of my career until we started this show a few weeks ago. Hello.
Oh, hey.
To everybody. The Athletic is a very important part now of anybody who covers sports or consumes sports. If you like to consume sports writing, The Athletic over the last several years has become a really big outlet. It's a pay service. So, you don't get the articles for free, but there's a lot of in-depth stuff.
Well, there's no ads on the stories.
No
you don't
ads.
have any autoplay videos.
Right. And really,
and they hired a lot of the best writers in the business.
They did. Ken Rosenthal.
Our buddy Jeremy Rutherford.
Or Jeremy Rutherford is there. Mark Saxon for a while was there. Katie Wu. Yeah. So a lot of really good writers work for The Athletic. There was an edict, a memo sent out to them recently that they are not, anybody who works for The Athletic is to leave politics out of it. And it's not just in their writing. And The Athletic, when it was founded, and I know one of the two founding members of it, the idea behind The Athletic was they had writers, all had autonomy, that they could have done whatever they wanted, write however they want. There really is no editing process.
Long form pieces.
Piecing. Yeah. The pieces, they're not told what to say or what not to say. But now people at The Athletic, and this is according to a story in Defector, and Defector is a lot of the people who were on Deadspin before. They are now writing for this site. That people at The Athletic, if you are a writer, you are not allowed to get into politics, not just in your writing, but also on your own personal social media. this is striking to me because, Kevin has heard this, I'm sure, but you don't really get much into politics on your social media.
No.
I have been
Nope.
for a while, even though I've been a sports guy.
I do not
And you
at all.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Politics?
You don't?
No.
Really? But
Really?
you work in politics.
I know, and I wouldn't tweet. So even though I
That's
was doing
interesting
all
to me.
politics,
It's my position too.
I would tweet about running because social media, there is nothing good that happens from saying anything political on social media. It's just a cesspool of trolls and tryhards and keyboard warriors, and I want no part of it.
No, the problem there is most things political require nuanced conversation, and
you can't have
do
that
it on Twitter.
Right.
Because the person that's tweeting at you is only seeing that tweet. They don't remember the ones that were 2 days ago or
Right.
2 weeks ago or whatever. It's always going to be about that one. We get this. I saw what happens when you tweet about sports stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yep, zero chance I'm dealing with that.
So
Zero.
I have been. I felt pretty free to do that for a long time, and I have. And one of the common responses, in fact, the most common response from people,
It's 3, 2, 1.
stick to sports.
Idiot.
Stick to sports,
Moron.
idiot.
Yeah.
Every time. Every time. But here's the problem with it. It only happens when they disagree with you.
Right.
If you hold a political stance that is something they agree with, they don't say stick to sports. They only want you to stick to sports when they disagree.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you see
so
that all the time. I mean, we see that in some of the responses that we'll get. Like
Yeah.
if somebody disagrees with one of us that was something we said, you're stupid or you're not smart or
Right.
go back to sports or whatever. And look, and that's precisely, by the way, why I don't do any of that stuff
Mhm.
on Twitter, because that's exactly the way that it goes. And then my response is, well, then you can't comment about sports. Stick to whatever your profession is. So, if you're a chef, hey, stick to food, dude.
Yep.
If you're a
You're
lawyer,
a financial advisor.
Yep. If you're a lawyer, stick to your court cases, buddy. You can't have a sports opinion. It's one of the most irritating things.
It's
And by the
very
way,
lazy.
a lot of people that are the worst about this are like actors, athletes. They're like, well, if you didn't do it, you don't know. All right. Well, you have political opinions, and how you've never held office. How can you have an opinion? Like if we held people to only being able to talk about what they are a quote professional in, nobody would ever talk about anything.
And I will say that, again, any serious conversation mandates meaningful distinctions and context and discernment, saying when is it okay to say something, when is it not. I can see if you're tweeting from a team account or you're an official team writer posting on, the Blues website or
Right.
the Colorado Avalanche website, that you do need to be careful, right? Because your fan
Well, you're
base,
representing a team.
You're representing a team.
Well, in this case, you're representing the Athletic.
You're representing the Athletic. And again, if it is the company's prerogative to say what you can and can't say under the company banner, is it going too far when they say you can't post on your own personal social media? Again, it might be.
I mean, the thing is, to me, is yes, you can do that. And the person who's involved can go get another job.
Yeah.
The employers are allowed to set rules for the employees. And it's not a First Amendment breach. I don't like it. I don't love that you're telling people not to do it.
Agreed.
But they
Yeah.
have every right to
Yeah,
do
they
that.
can. They can.
And I will say, too, I don't think it's always out of malicious intent. I think the current political atmosphere is so toxic and
Yeah.
divisive that a lot of companies are like, how can we protect ourselves from this environment?
Yeah.
How can we keep it about sports? How can we not continue to offend people? Because I do think a lot of people get a bit frustrated that whatever ideology or political slogan that's out there is being, thrown at them constantly, kind of in their faces all the time. So I don't know that there is a clear-cut line of when you can say something political and when you can't. I think it depends on maybe the nature of your job and the nature of the business.
If a company wants to say, look, we just don't want to get into it because everything is so polarized and divisive right now, and we really can't win if you do, that's one thing. I think it does get it's a little more uncomfortable to me when they're telling their people not to use your own platforms with your own names, your personal stuff, to have any opinions. And furthermore, I'm where Kevin is on this. We're all citizens. If you cover sports, if you cover politics, whatever you do, every one of us is a citizen, and every one of us is afforded an opinion. And it's okay to have that. I ask that if you have an opinion and you want to disseminate it, however you want to do it, via Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Just be thoughtful about your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the only, you don't have to agree with me. Just be thoughtful about what you're saying.
And what's interesting is I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth here, where I see how you want politics to be, or sports to be separate from politics.
It never really has been,
but
though.
it hasn't been, because some really important movements, think of the civil rights movement and Jackie Robinson, that was sports.
How about soccer worldwide is so political all the time in its entire history.
This time of year, you might notice that the brick in your patio is going astray. Call Morelli. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan for Morelli Tuck Pointing, which has won every award possible in this industry, including the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to companies with exceptional customer service. Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis and beyond for 31 years. Morelli can do completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches, patios, caulking, waterproofing solutions, and much more. Family owned and operated, and a lot of longtime employees that are like family. Call and request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387 or online at MorelliTuckPointing.com. And don't forget to check out their great reviews on the Google and Better Business Bureau websites. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
At 11:30, it's 90 degrees. It feels like 94 downtown at the Arch. Workers at the Starbucks on 5th Street in St. Charles are joining 7 other area Starbucks in a move to unionize. The hourly baristas are organizing with Workers United, SEIU. They say in a letter to Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz, emailed saying they are pro-union and pro-Starbucks and that it's unfair to the customers they care about to provide an unpleasant experience because labor has been cut to improve profit margins while prices increase. A future king turns 40 and is ready to forge his own path. Prince William has marked his 40th birthday, releasing photos of himself from a day spent incognito, selling copies of a homeless magazine, The Big Issue, to unsuspecting members of the public. British health officials will start offering vaccines to gay and bisexual men and at the highest risk of catching monkeypox in an effort to curb the biggest outbreak of the disease. In a statement today, Britain's Health Security Agency said doctors could consider vaccinating anyone who has multiple partners, participates in group sex, or attends sex on premises venues. Prosecutors at the impeachment trial of South Dakota Attorney General Jason Ravensborg say he lied to investigators and abused the power of his office after he struck and killed a pedestrian. They're seeking conviction on a pair of impeachment charges that could mean automatic removal from office. Watch for a stalled vehicle eastbound 270 past West Florissant Avenue. It's on the right shoulder, and a stall westbound 270 on the ramp from 367 northbound. Be prepared to stop in that location. The forecast sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm for this afternoon. Look for a sunny, hot, and humid day. The high 100, which would break the record of 99 set in 1933. Right now, we have plenty of sunshine in the area. In downtown, it's 90 degrees. It feels like 94. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we are more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold of Newbold BMW. The new all-electric BMWs are here, and it proves that you don't have to be ugly to be electric.
Come and drive one of these, and you'll kick your Tesla to the curb. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. You know how everybody says it's not the heat, it's the humidity? Carrier's Infinity HVAC equipment regulates the humidity in your home from wherever you are through the Infinity Smart Controller. Contact Air Comfort Service for a free estimate on a new air conditioner or HVAC system that's so quiet you won't even know it's running and gives you energy efficiency and comfort that can't be matched. Through May 28th, save $50 to $2,150 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying equipment. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Tonight, it's the Cards and Brewers. Ameren pregame show 6:15. First pitch 7:10 on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
Amy Mark scores, Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you on the show. You'll find us on Twitter at the show KMOX. And there you'll find links to everything you need and numbers. So if you want to text us, it's 314-436-7900. We're going to mix some of those in here in this segment. If you want to leave us a voicemail, 314-944-1120. It's 944-1120. And you can leave it the length that you'd like. Ideally, it's on the topics that we're talking about. And we're actually going to get to a couple of voicemails here, too. Just some reaction to what we talked about earlier. Look, we've been talking about political rhetoric.
Yep.
And the increasing combativeness of it, the increasing, I don't know, is it fair to say violent nature of it?
Yeah.
Or is that too much?
No, it's escalated to extremely violent political rhetoric. And there has always been really nasty political rhetoric.
Oh, yeah,
if you read some of the pamphlets from the 18th century, I mean, the founding fathers were hurling insults at each other back and forth. But what we're having right now is the combination of increasingly heated political rhetoric and increasingly isolated political silos where red and blue communities they're not interacting with each other. You're dehumanizing the other side. You're demonizing the other side. And perhaps most importantly, you're painting the other side as an existential threat to you, your family, and your country.
That's a great point.
And when you combine those two things, you have people taking action. We've said this before, that if you were to put all of the people who stormed the Capitol, who committed some of the most violent actions at the Capitol, and they went through a lie detector test, all of them, I guarantee you, would believe that they were truly saving democracy. You hear the phrase, desperate times call for desperate measures. When you have politicians incessantly saying that these are desperate times, then people are going to take those desperate measures. They will feel that violent outlier action is justified.
So you just said the word dehumanizing, and that is what countries and militaries do in war. When you have to kill the other side, you dehumanize them,
right?
Not by calling them what they are. You didn't call them the Germans, you call them the Krauts. And I'm not going to get into some of the other slurs that were used in various other wars for the enemy, but you use those terms because they dehumanize the opposition, which makes it less troublesome to killing them. They're not people from that country. They are that slur. They are that thing, that name Again, they're not Germans, they're Krauts. And again, some of the other ones are far more offensive. I don't even want to get into them, but we know where the wars have been over the course of the last 30, 40 years. And war in Vietnam, this happened partly in World War II. It happened in some of the conflicts in the Middle East and in Africa, where the nicknames for the quote-unquote enemy, and by the way, in those cases, it was an enemy. It was somebody shooting at you and you shooting back at them. None of this is that. But we're using that same framing. We're using that. You're not a Democrat. You're a leftist.
You're a leftist.
You're not a conservative.
You're a rhino.
You're a fascist, or you're a rhino.
Yeah.
And that is not by accident. We have to understand that. These people know what they're doing. It is not an accident. It is absolutely done because you want some people that support you to not think of the opposition as your opposition, but as your enemy.
Because you have to continue to fuel the outrage. If the machine is driven, and by machine, whatever it is, whether it's your political campaign or what have you, if it's driven by outrage and grievance politics, you have to keep people upset. And I think what we're seeing too is not even that there are more people who are willing to take violent action, that it was in them. I don't know, but it's that threshold has been lowered, if that makes sense. It's easier for people to get to that point where they're willing to act on their hate or their fears or their violent inclinations. Just to kind of throw a couple out here, because we've talked about January 6th. Yes. We've talked about the Kavanaugh assassination attempt. We look at Amy Coney Barrett has had protesters outside her house. They've doxed her kids' schools. But the Louisville mayor over the weekend or yesterday, he was just punched by a man at the store on 4th Street Live. It's like a really cool part of Louisville with shops and restaurants and bars. In February, a very left-leaning Democrat drew a gun on another Democratic candidate for mayor of Louisville, Craig Greenberg. Quintez Brown drew a gun on Craig Greenberg. And then we've seen with the leaking of the SCOTUS ruling on Roe, there have been attacks, Molotov cocktails, and bombs at pregnancy counseling centers in North Carolina, Oregon, New York, Seattle, D.C., Illinois, Virginia, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Iowa, just since the leaked verdict or decision.
Right. And even leading up to that, there have been violence against Planned Parenthood and abortion clinics, or, whatever you want to call them. We got a texter earlier that said this, and it's from a 314. The false equivalence of "we're coming for you" and an armed active shooter parody is horrific. And I think what this person is trying to say is there is nuance and difference between what Chuck Schumer said about the Supreme Court, which you could take if you really want to have nuance about this and listen to what he said and read the quote for yourself. You could take it as you're going to suffer political consequences. Or if you're a crazy person, you could take it as I want to go injure somebody in the Supreme Court. But there is no mistaking the Greitens ad. It's a guy holding a gun who's standing outside of a house with armed guys in tactical gear who are stacking, and they go inside the house. Like, there's no mistaking what that is. So there is some nuance here, I think.
Yeah, and can I just clarify? I don't think we did compare.
No,
what Schumer said to Greitens Ad. Well, we discussed Greitens Ad,
right?
And
that's from the texter, by the way.
And then separately discussed how this political rhetoric is increasingly violent and like vaguely violent. Like we said, you won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Imagine Schumer saying it. Imagine Trump saying it. We all can interpret what that could mean.
Well, I think, yes, you're right. But I do think,
those are
again,
bigger stretches than basing that off of what we saw yesterday.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There is nuance
here.
here.
If come out yesterday and just said those exact words, we're not even talking about it today.
That's exactly it. And especially because, look, if you're talking about somebody who has a history of calling for violence or vaguely calling for violence, and then they say what Chuck Schumer did, then okay, now you're getting into some territory that's pretty questionable.
Okay.
Which I think the quote is questionable itself anyway. But I think that there is some nuance here, and there's a difference between what he said at the time and what what Greitens did with the ad yesterday.
And here's the nuance and why it matters. If you took Chuck Schumer's quote, which I think is wildly irresponsible and inappropriate,
and I can agree with that.
but
Yeah.
if you took it and then put Chuck Schumer in a video holding a gun, breaking into homes, saying this, then there would be outrage.
Yes. There's nothing vague about that.
No.
Right. And that's what Greitens did is
Right.
we're coming for you. And you think, well, what's the difference between Schumer and Greitens? Well, Greitens had a video where guys are in tactical gears with
Can I just
assault
say this too, by
weapons.
the way? Because this is going to be really snarky and smart-assy, but I'm sorry. But the guy that's talking about showing us going into the, we're gonna go into the breach and we're gonna come after these rhinos is too scared to come on KMOX.
Well,
I mean,
Well,
let's
he
be
won't
honest.
talk to
He
us.
was asked to come on KMOX and they did not reply. And I think if you're going to play this role of I'm going to stand up for everybody, I'm going to do that. Hey, listen, man, we're just radio hosts. We're just reporters in the newsroom. If you're scared of us because we might disagree with you, well, too bad on you, man. You can't play the role of tough guy. And I'm, by the way, not questioning Greitens' personal toughness. That guy's a Navy SEAL. He is in that regard, in that part of his life, that is an admirable thing and a difficult thing, and he showed his bravery by choosing to do that. But then at this point, when you're facing a little heat, don't just stay on the home field.
Yeah.
Maybe answer a call from somebody else that's going to ask you some questions.
And he has to no end exploited the iconography of the Navy SEAL and the reverence we hold for Navy SEALs, and he's used it for his own personal gain. In 2015, he was a Democrat and he realizes, this Navy SEAL background is not going to go as far in the Democratic Party, but the Republicans will love it. And I can do anything if I become a Republican, which he basically did. And just the grifter aspect of it. And I go, maybe he doesn't want to come on the show because technically I'm a rhino.
Well, no, and again, look, like I said, I want to be very clear because we talked about this yesterday with Dan Crenshaw. I think it's ridiculous to insult somebody's toughness or whatever, or their dedication to the country when they have served in that manner. And I'm not doing that at all. What I'm saying is you can't just be playing to the friendly crowd all the time. If you really truly believe what you say, you're saying, if you truly believe that you're correct and that you have a better way, you shouldn't have to stay on the home field all the time. You should be able to answer a call from a reporter. I'm not even talking about us or Glover or whatever. Answer a call from the newsroom.
They're all fair people out here.
You're
all of our newsroom is really, really good and going to treat you fairly.
Yeah, and I think that unfortunately, to me, again, it's not a matter of toughness or patriotism or anything like that. It is simply that in politics, too often it becomes I'm only going to talk to the people that will vote for me, or I'm only going to talk to the people that agree with me, and that continues to feed the problem and feed the division. Because you're preaching to the choir all the time. Well, what's the point of that?
Right. And that we talk about the term echo chamber all the time. That's all that is. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you are far left, if you are far right, and you will only talk to networks that believe what you believe, it's not reaching anybody because the people you're reaching are the people who already agree with you.
Quick question. When did the MAGA crowd turn on Dan Crenshaw?
Apparently this weekend.
Interesting.
I don't know because I didn't know that was a thing with him.
Because they were calling him Eye Patch McCain.
Which is Tucker Carlson's name for him, which is also sad.
What in the world? I mean, oh my gosh.
And again,
this guy
we're talking about the
lost
Texas
his
GOP
eye in
convention,
combat.
by the way.
Yeah,
where this happened. And Cornyn was booed while he was up
And
on stage as
also-
well. A guy who
yeah.
was a longtime conservative.
And I will also say this. People that are on the Democratic side shouldn't shy away from conservative outlets either. Not that we are one way or the other, but I think everybody who wants to run for a national office should answer to all kinds of people, not just the people they think will vote for them.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or CrawfordButts.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria, too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Don't buy plastic toys for your pet. Instead, look for natural materials like cotton, rope, wood, or bamboo. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Soaring inflation, rising interest rates, stock market volatility, and higher taxes. How will these unprecedented challenges impact you and your retirement? Find out in a one-night adult education class, Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how to overcome the unprecedented challenges facing the next wave of retirees. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. Learn from a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. Register now by calling 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman at ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, but you're not sure where you're going to go after you sign a contract with a buyer, if you sell to us, we can provide a flexible closing date for you. And once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back at any time. Find us at ClaymanGroup.com. and simplify your sale by closing on your timeline. KLAMEN Group.com.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. With a focus on community banking, who better to join us than Sandy DeMond, Senior Vice President and Director of Community Banking at Busey. She joined Jeff Burgess and me to discuss Busey's financial literacy programs available to both students and adults. Listen to our June podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Moholtra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
The annual Swing for Kids golf tournament at Lake Forest Country Club is Monday, August 8th. Find out more information or register your team at communitylivingmo.org/golf.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Amy, Chris, and Kevin.
The greatest radio talk show host ever.
Now, more of the show.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, back in on the show. Time to see what is trending. Sometimes you get a little surprise in the trending because obviously it's trending and you didn't really know it was coming. Anything for you guys right off the top, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Usually you don't know what's coming.
You guys always know.
Well, I'm pretty good at
I
me.
knew it was coming. I just didn't expect it.
Yep.
Welcome. Here's one thing that's trending. Should we take part in this? June 21st is National Selfie Day. Hashtag National Selfie Day is trending.
Yes, I think the show should do a show selfie.
A show fee?
Yeah, it's a Sean Connery.
Oh, come on,
What's
Amy.
the matter with
It's Selfie Day.
You know what? I think both of you are a little bit crabby.
Why do you keep saying that we are crabby?
I
Stop
see-
saying we're mad
What's
all
our
the time.
Ranji,
text
it's called
line?
projection.
314-944-1120.
That's the voicemail line.
Oops. What's the
text line is 314-436-7900.
Text in if you think Ranj and Wheeler are a little bit grouchy.
Text in if you think that's just Amy thinking that because she's tired from a marathon.
Okay, that's hurtful.
Anyway, National Selfie Day is trending.
Oh, gosh.
And there are people all over the Twitter taking selfies. Oh, I just saw one that is my favorite selfie. It's a selfie of the dude and the man in the hat in The Big Lebowski where the dude is taking the selfie on the set. That's awesome.
That's a great one.
Well done, Jeff Bridges.
Sam
Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Beef. It's what's for dinner.
That's him.
That's him. I mean,
that's
obviously, it's not what he's known for. I will always, always, always think of him from Tombstone.
Guys,
he's just such a. Speaking of crab, he's such a good crab in the movies. I mean, Sam Elliott's one of my favorites. Plus, he's got a great voice.
He's got the best voiceover voice.
You know, that's a great list. Who are the best movie crabs, grouches, grumperses?
Movie grumps. Oh, that's a great
The top
call.
10
Walter
movie
Matthau.
grumps. Oh, he's a
From
great
Grumpy
one.
Old Men. Maybe that's unfair because I'm thinking of Grumpy Old Men, and it's the
No,
whole point.
he's always
But he's pretty
grumpy.
grouchy as the coach in Bad News
When
Bears.
has Walter Matthau ever been perky?
I don't know.
He's kind of perky in JFK.
I don't know.
Okay, we got to think
All
about
right.
this.
What else is trending? We'll think about it while we're looking at what
how
else
about
is
this
trending.
one? He's a 10.
That's trending. I
It's
saw that. What is that?
trending.
What's happening with the he's a 10 trend?
So he's a 10, and then you list something like but. So it's like he's a 10, but he doesn't know how to cut a tomato. And then they show a picture of, the boyfriend struggling to cut a tomato in the kitchen. Or this one, he's a 10, but he doesn't know how to spell the word tomorrow. And then it's a screenshot of the text.
So he's a good looking guy, but that's pretty much all he's got for him. Is what this is about.
Yeah, it's like the contrast.
What is your tolerance for somebody who's attractive, but maybe not all that bright as far as dating them?
0.
What if they're an 11?
No.
You can't get any
then
better
they're not
looking.
attractive. If there's no intellectual compatibility, it's out.
Kevin, I know you're out of the game and you've been out of the game for a long time.
Let's see, what year is it now? 2020, so 30 years. I've been out of the game for 30 years.
All right.
Wow, you've been out of the game since I was 8.
Yes.
Hypothetically speaking.
I have been out of said game for 30 years.
Amy, you never would have run into Kevin on Bumble.
Was the game
Way
even
too-
invented 30 years ago?
There was some game. I don't know. We changed the rules, I think, since then. We didn't have all this online dating stuff. We actually had to go meet people.
Back in my day, we had to work to meet a lady.
We actually had to go to the bar.
Yes. Yeah. And
They
that's
would bring them in on wagons.
Although I
Bring
didn't
them
meet my
out
wife in the
west.
bar. I met my wife in the
On
dorms.
wagons?
So.
Like back in the old west.
You are
all
such
the
a
ladies
jerk.
would go to the western towns.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Ron. Stop being such a crab.
See, she does this all the time. I am not.
What were you
crab.
asking me anyway?
I
We got
don't even. Oh,
distracted.
what would be your tolerance level for some they're really, really attractive but kind of dumb?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I can tolerate.
I mean, when I put
guess
it this
is your
way,
standard's not super
put it
high.
this way, it would be different now than it was when I was 18, when I was still in the game.
Okay, right. I mean, if they're an 11, I'm very shallow, so that's good enough for me.
11.
Good enough for me.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Do you love your house and hate the thought of assisted living? Whether you're caring for a loved one in your home right now or planning to live independently in the years ahead, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They can completely remodel your old bathroom in just 3 days and back up their work with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on both their quality and craftsmanship. If all you need is a new walk-in tub or easy entry shower to make your life easier, they could do just that for you. Avoid the hassle and stress of remodeling. Check them out on the web at 3daykitchen.com or call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath for your free design consultation today. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. It's about time.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Here's what happened in Richard Irvin's Aurora in the summer of 2020.
Police say 3 of the vehicles were set on fire and destroyed. Shots were fired at police twice. People hurled bricks, glass, and rocks at officers. Police blame protesters for at least 2 fires in the city.
This is what Richard Irvin later said about the rioting and looting and violence in his town.
You know, my downtown just on fire, people running around destroying things. You know, I was conflicted. In one sense, I'm the mayor, and I'm saying this can't happen in my city. On the other hand, I recognize that unless there's some type of disruption in what we want here in our country, things won't change.
Richard Irvin calls violence and looting a legitimate disruption. This is what happens when you put someone who calls himself a strong and passionate supporter of Black Lives Matter in charge. Don't let Richard Irvin let Illinois burn like he did Aurora. Join Illinois conservatives in voting no to violence and lawlessness by voting no on Richard Irvin. Paid for by people who play with the rules pack.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
Man, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. To help you last longer in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with men lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on first visit guaranteed or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I want to hear that sound again.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point. That's the sound? That's the sound of the room getting bigger.
And cleaner.
And happier. I love a happy room.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
I'd like you to come to my house right before we go on vacation.
You want to come home to a big, clean, happy house.
There's nothing better than that.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 o'clock, we have sunshine, 92 degrees downtown at the Arch. It feels like 94. I'm Maria Kina. Our top story this hour, raw emotions are meeting stunning revelations at a Texas Senate hearing over the massacre at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. State Senator Roland Gutierrez says he did not even have the strength to console grieving family members within the first 24 hours of the tragedy. He then spent 14 days offering whatever he could and befriending the community, but warned fellow senators they do not want any part of this pain.
That you don't want to live 14 days straight in a community, talking to those families and hugging them finally, even though that first day I just could not. I felt like such a coward. I didn't have the power in me.
The head of the Texas Department of Public Safety called the law enforcement response to the massacre at Robb Elementary School an abject failure. Missouri's U.S. senatorial candidate Eric Greitens is doubling down on his controversial campaign ad.
What you're seeing is a tremendous amount of faux outrage.
Greitens spoke to our sister station, 97.1 FM, this morning.
We knew that liberals had lost all sense of humor. Now it's very clear that rhinos have as well. But again, Ryan, the reason why people don't like the ad is it's extraordinarily effective.
KMOX reached out to Greitens, but he did not return our calls for an interview. A political historian says the ad by Greitens may end up benefiting Democrats. Dr. Don Heidenreich Lindenwood University history professor says it's not the fact that the ad features Greitens and a commando team with military rifles, because guns in political ads is not that uncommon.
But in most cases, when you see people use them, it's usually shooting at a target, or you see a number of them had like bills that they were going to do something about, or maybe they're shooting at a car that says taxes on it or whatever. The idea of actually talking about people and then including the firearms, that's a bit different.
Heidenreich says ultimately, Democrats may be able to turn Greitens' message of hunting rhinos, Republicans in name only, against any other Republican candidate in Missouri. Today, children under the age of 5 are now eligible to get vaccinated against COVID-19 at the Children's National Hospital Research Lab in Washington, D.C. It's a day for some parents that they've been waiting for.
I've been talking about this day for a very long time.
Nyla Bigelow's 18 months old and sadly no stranger to hospitals.
Because she does have a trach and she has chronic lung disease.
Mom Andrea Spriggs says that means she's had to quit her job, and Nyla hasn't been around family or friends much.
It's been hard. It's been, it feels like it's never ending.
But now that she's gotten the first of her 3 shots,
I am so excited to get her protected and to be able to go places and see family and take day trips.
John Doman for CBS News, Washington.
From the First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, boycotting gas stations doesn't work.
There's a lot of chatter on social media about boycotting gas stations.
Just shifting and not buying on certain days, that's really not going to do anything.
Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan explains why it doesn't work.
They're just going to buy gasoline before or after the boycott. And so if you shift demand, it's not going to have a material effect.
He says the supply is about 10% lower than a year ago, which keeps prices up. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
A check of stocks right now, they're up 605 to 30,494. And certainly that's a 2.3% increase on those. A check of our traffic right now for westbound 40 drivers right in the area. It looks of 270. There's a stalled vehicle, and it looks like it might be still blocking, so be careful in that area. For westbound 270 drivers, past 367, a stalls on the right shoulder. And westbound 44, that's just coming in now at Lewis Road. There is an accident, and it is blocking completely the center lanes. Another hot day on tap.
KMOX AccuWeather, very hot, more humid today. Record temperatures likely as we see the second heat wave of the summer building in. Record today is 99. We expect to get to 100. Real feels 105 or better. Similar tomorrow before some thunderstorms come in, knock the heat down a little bit in the afternoon and evening. Thursday, low 90s with hot conditions, and then we're back into the mid-upper 90s Friday and Saturday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Ian DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now in St. Peter's, it's 89, 92 degrees in Florissant and downtown at the Arch, 92 degrees. It feels like 94. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
It's a huge savings weekend at Farm and Home Supply. Friday, June 24th through Sunday the 26th only. Save on in-store purchases. Plus on Saturday between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m., get a free $20 Farm and Home Supply gift card for every $100 pre-tax you spend. Visit farmandhomesupply.com.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
12:05 on the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores back after a marathoning adventure in Minnesota. Kevin Wheeler with you here as well. You can find us on Twitter at the show KMOX. It's the voicemail line if you want to participate, 314-944-1120. And the text line is 314-436-7900.
Mm-hmm.
What are you children laughing about in the corner
I
over
was
there?
just thinking that every day sitting next to Amy feels like a marathon. It just
for her or for you?
Me. For me.
For you.
This is my marathon.
I
It's
love-
like I can do this. I can do this.
No, I love both of you. I think you're all really great.
Why are you rolling your eyes?
And then?
What?
And then?
Well, listen.
Oh,
I know we don't have the cream of the crop here.
All right. All right.
We got a text on this topic. Big Blonde Dan texting in says, aren't Wheels and Ranji always a tiny bit cranky? I love you guys, but you're permagrumps, right? Like Statler and Waldorf. And then he said, I kid.
I have one very big question
You are
here.
definitely Statler. I'm more animal.
Okay, this is my question.
If you were a Muppet, who would you be?
Oh, that's Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah,
the guy in the okay. Okay.
And then they insult everybody. That is kind of you.
I never knew their names.
Yeah.
Huh. They're the people in the movie theater in the balcony, and they're
the two old dudes
judging,
up there,
looking,
and
judging.
they make fun of everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah, that is kind of you.
Oh, yeah. I get those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I identify with them.
I'm probably Gonzo.
Gonzo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does Gonzo do?
Well, what is Gonzo? Nobody knows.
He's a bird. He's got a big long nose. Oh, he's a bird?
Gonzo doesn't know. He's not a bird.
He's not a bird?
That's the whole thing, is that nobody...
Gonzo's a bird.
They go, what is Gonzo? And he says, I'm a whatever.
Kevin is animal.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, nobody in the Muppet universe is more metal than Animal.
Yeah, well, plays in a band. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
That's 100% you.
Yeah.
You think I'm both guys in the balcony?
No. You're just like, they're the same.
You think it's possible I'm both of them?
They're the same, though. So they're like, one is the other.
Okay.
You are both guys in the balcony.
That tracks.
Have you guys seen a Muppet Christmas Carol?
Yes, it's wonderful.
So what I love is that someone said they love the fact that it's a Muppet Christmas Carol, and the producer probably told, hey, Michael Caine, this is a Muppet Christmas Carol. We're going to take a little bit of a lighthearted approach to this. And he just goes, I'm going to play this thing as serious as a car accident.
I think it's great. I think
I
love how he does that. I know he's gotten criticism or people have made fun of him or whatever.
But he's perfect.
He's absolutely perfect in that movie.
I know that you guys are saying words in English, but I don't know what any of that
the
means.
Muppet Christmas Carol movie. Oh my God.
I don't know what any of that means.
I wish it was November right now.
Why?
Like late November, early December.
Can I just stand up for Ranj here? Because I know, he's kind of a crab and most people disagree with everything he says, but he loves Christmas.
Yep.
And I find that adorable.
Yep. It's my favorite.
It's so funny.
It is my favorite.
Like for everything else, he's just like, "Brr, brr." And Christmas, he's like, it's Christmas.
Yep.
He's like Buddy the Elf all of a sudden.
Do you know when I start celebrating?
My dad.
I'll tell you when I start celebrating Christmas.
Now?
The day after Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, forget that. Thanksgiving's fine. You get to be with your family, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But the decorations are horrible. It's all brown and orange
Why
and
did you
yellow.
say it like that?
I don't know. I've been
You
doing
just said
that.
it like you were in New York. He's like, horrible.
I've been doing that lately.
It's horrible.
I don't know why.
You sounded like Costanza's mom.
Yeah, I don't know why I do it.
Here's what's great. I'm sure there are people everywhere who, for different reasons, hate the three of us for whatever reasons. But we all have redeeming qualities. And I think Ranj's love for Christmas is a great redeeming quality. And I know Kevin has a redeeming quality.
You just got to wait for it.
What is it? We got to find out what it is.
When I find it, I will say it.
I have a house.
Oh,
okay.
damn it. All right. What else is going on?
You know when I start celebrating Christmas?
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Oh. Yeah. See, that's so Scrooge.
No, I like Christmas. I just,
it's Scrooge because he doesn't.
It's a limited time engagement.
Scrooge doesn't get into the mood until he's forced to the night before.
Yeah, nobody forces me.
Okay. This happened, and I'm trying to think of how I can tell this story on air. And Kevin, I don't know if this happened with you when your daughter was little, but there always comes a time when a little kid learns a new phrase.
Oh yeah.
And they decide
Yeah.
decide to use that phrase
Or word, yeah.
or word
Yeah.
for mom and dad,
Yeah.
generally in public
Mhm.
or with guests or family over.
Mhm.
So we were in the hotel lobby of the Fairfield Inn Marriott in Duluth, Minnesota. And this little boy comes in, maybe 3 or 4 years old. He's holding his mom's hand. Now, remember, this is race day when the temperature has dropped from 66 degrees in the morning to 47 degrees that afternoon. Pretty brisk, pretty chilly. And the little boy, just, how little kids march in, their little stubby
old, you
legs.
said?
3 to 4.
Okay.
Like very young.
Okay.
And they sit down on the couch. And the boy goes, wow, I am effing cold. Like I can't even say it. And the mom
Blankety
goes,
blank cold.
blankety blank cold.
I think you could say damn.
I don't.
Yeah, you can.
Well, and he
You
said
can't.
it. Yeah.
We can.
And then his mom goes, what did you say? And he said, totally like unfazed,
Just-
rather pleasant.
I am blanking.
Just
blank
living
I
his
am
cold.
life. Just like, yep.
blanking blank cold.
I like this kid.
And the horror on
I love
this
him.
mom's face. She like grabs his chin and goes, I don't know where you learned that.
Gee, I wonder.
but you cannot say
I can tell
that.
you this: it wasn't on the Wiggles.
Wait, is that still a thing?
I don't know. I just thought of something random from when my kid was little. Like
Oh.
that.
Think of a 3 or 4-year-old and you're a mom, and he announces this to the entire lobby of a hotel.
What is? See, that's not as bad, probably, as what I did when I was a kid.
What did you do?
So I don't remember this at all, but I was in the store with my mom. Well, I don't know. We were grocery shopping or whatever, and she had the cart. We're walking somewhere, like in the middle of the store, and I said I wanted a candy bar or something, like just the typical. What does a kid want? And she must have said, just wait till we get to the checkout and we'll do it. And I was being impatient. And she said, just stop. We'll do it when we get to the front. And I said, I don't remember this at all, but allegedly I said, please, Mom, don't hit me. And she just
I shouldn't have laughed.
Hilarious.
She just left the cart and there was stuff in the cart.
She's like that.
And she's
We're
like,
leaving.
we gotta go. And my mom never hit me ever. So I don't know why I said
Honestly,
that.
little you is a lot like big you.
Yeah, kind of. Just rooting for chaos. Like I'm in the we get in the car. I don't know if I'm in a car seat at this time, but maybe. And we get in the car, drive away. I'm probably in the back going, yes.
I'm pretty sure
That went exactly as planned.
I'm pretty sure that most of the bad things that my daughter learned to say were from me.
Oh, of course.
But the one famous story is she learned the big one, the
big word,
the F-bomb.
Yep.
Learned that from the wife. Driving in a car, got cut off, almost an accident, like a real close call, and the reaction was, "Oh, blank!"
Yeah.
And then in the back seat, you hear a little 2-year-old, "Blank!" I wasn't in the car. My wife loves to tell that story, and
no.
I'm sure that was not the first time she had heard that word. It would have probably been me playing video games.
Oh, that's
She
great.
remembered that, yeah.
That's
good for you. See, you always impart some wisdom onto your child. By the way, Kevin, a text message from a 636. It's 187 days till Christmas.
Ooh.
It's exciting, huh?
So
Think about it that
I got
way.
185 days to get my shopping done and wrap the presents.
See, hey, you will never believe what I love to do on Christmas Eve.
I have a feeling I will believe it.
Take a guess. Can you guess?
Wrap
I know.
presents.
I think I know.
Well, no, not that.
You love to go shopping.
Yes, I love to go to the mall.
Oh my God.
I love to go to the mall
This
on
guy.
Christmas
This
Eve.
guy in the mall.
He's adorable.
There's something about having the deadline, because the mall closes on Christmas Eve at like 4.
Right.
Like 3 or 4. And so there's a rush, and I work great under deadlines.
You're a weirdo.
Right? I know.
I love it. It's the feeling because everyone there's some chaos, but they're
Yes.
in a good mood because I used to work retail, so we would work on Christmas Eve, and it was my favorite day to work because at first there was that rush, but it would start to filter out. We closed at 4. And so we had marshmallow, like Nerf guns, but they were marshmallow launchers. So we'd have marshmallow wars in the store.
I think you guys may have just like unlocked a memory in my head as to why I hate Christmas.
Uh-oh.
Why?
The first day of the first job of my life
Yeah.
was at a retail outlet at a mall, Sears, on December 23rd.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I think that may be the root. Because I don't dislike Christmas, but the season and the songs, no thank you. I love the holiday. I love family. I love giving and getting presents and all that. I love all that. I love the meaning of the holiday. I love that it's time that we can all be nice to each other and care about each other. But the whole lead up and just don't.
It's because you worked in the store
think
and
it
the
might be
music was playing over and over and over again.
I'm thinking it's
Yeah.
it. And that whole day, I'm running a register. I have never run a register in my life, and there's no line that stops. You got to remember, this is like 1987, 88 maybe, 88 probably. So nobody bought anything on Amazon. Nobody was going to like some special little downtown area. Everybody was at the mall.
That's
at Sears.
I call that the golden era.
Kevin, apropos
The golden era of Christmas Eve shopping was the late 80s.
After a million moms that are like, remember the movie Better Off Dead?
Yes, of course.
The mom, can you say Christmas? That was everybody in my line on December 23rd, 1988 at Sears.
Kevin, apropos of nothing, what did it sound like when you asked your wife to marry her?
Will you marry me?
Let's
get married.
Let me
Let's get
see.
married.
Let me react it. No.
I'm not mad.
I said something like,
I'm not mad. Just will you marry me?
I remember, well, first of all,
Like the fact that you courted anybody and got married is just amazing.
I'm a nice guy when I want to be.
I'm nice. Will you marry me?
I'm a nice guy.
Want to go on a date?
I think what I said was
it sounds like Gonzo.
Marry me or else. Marry me or else.
Or else.
So creepy.
Yeah, might have been that.
So funny. Marry me. I'm not mad at you. I just want you to marry me.
Here's the ring. Let's go.
Oh, I hate Christmas.
I do not hate Christmas, but I do hate the Christmas season.
Oh my God.
Something's wrong with our eyes.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or CrawfordButts.com.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey for my trusted friend and realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is the agent I've been recommending for years. If you are planning to sell your home in this crazy seller's market, you do not want to leave a single dollar on the table. You'll love working with Gloria. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she will buy it guaranteed in writing. Her secret? Well, Gloria has the buyers. Thousands of ready buyers looking for homes in your price range and in your neighborhood. Lawrence and Shelby sold their St. Louis home in just 3 days at $17,250 over asking price with multiple offers when their previous agent produced 0 results. They chose Gloria over other agents and they were thrilled with the results. You should call Gloria Liu today with any questions. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
If you're recently retired or nearing retirement, you've got your work cut out for you. Between soaring inflation, stock market volatility, and the threat of higher taxes, saving and investing alone won't be enough. Learn how you could overcome today's toughest retirement challenges in a one-night adult education class called Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have saved at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. This is your opportunity to learn from decades of financial planning experience. Call 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
All the news and all that matters to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, you're back in on the show on KMOX, at the show KMOX on Twitter. It is Gonzo, Waldorf, and Animal with you here on a Tuesday, 12/22. You can figure out who's who if you'd like.
It's all of us. It's all of us, really.
I think
it's on.
It's obvious,
Yeah.
I think.
You think?
Gonzo,
Yeah.
Waldorf of Statler and Waldorf, and Animal.
Yeah.
I saw
you're
this.
right.
I saw this article yesterday, guys, and it's that the state of Minnesota is pitching for 2027 to
Minnesota.
host the World's Fair, and they want to have it done. I think near the Mall of America, or at least that's what the Expo neighborhood is going to be. And it got me to thinking. I didn't know we still did World's Fairs.
I did not.
Did
know
you
we
guys
had
know
World's
this?
Fairs. No, I didn't know this.
I am totally at a loss here. So famously, we talk a lot about the 1904
Yep.
World's Fair, the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, to be exact.
Mhm.
That's what it was called. All the things that were invented there.
Mhm.
Do you know what was invented there?
Ice cream.
Yep.
Iced tea.
Ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone.
Yes.
Iced tea.
Yes.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Yes. Hamburgers.
Hamburgers.
Did you know the hamburger was introduced at the 1904 World's Fair?
I didn't know that.
Also,
Weren't hamburgers invented in Hamburg?
I don't know.
Germany?
They were introduced in the United States here, at least.
Okay.
The X-ray machine.
What?
Yep. The
'Cause,
X-ray
like,
machine.
electricity. It was the first big event with electricity
That's
as
right.
well.
So it was the first
Well-
time that was displayed
Actually, I
here.
think the Chicago Exposition was the first with the electricity because that was the one that Westinghouse and Edison were competing for.
That is the one where H.H.
That's what I was
Holmes.
thinking.
Oh. That World's Fair you're talking about.
The
That's
Chicago
the one.
Exposition.
The
that-
Columbian Exposition.
Columbian.
All right.
yes.
That is the one where H.H. Holmes was living like a mile down the road
What's-
and murdering all those people.
What's really interesting is like we're having this conversation and even I'm getting bored.
Oh.
Well, I was going to quiz you. Like, okay,
You're
so
bored by serial killers?
When was the last World's Fair?
Last year.
No.
No.
I don't have any idea. I didn't know we were still having them.
According to the Wikipedia, it was 2015
And it was?
in Milan, Italy.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, it remains on its original site, as it says now.
You know what's
By the way,
always-
Milan, you ever been to Milan?
No.
I've been to Milan.
Cool.
It's not cool.
Oh.
There's a lot of snooty, really good-looking people, and when you walk past tourists, they just like turn away from you.
So,
They're like
Scottsdale.
snobby people there.
Basically the same place.
No.
Scottsdale.
Except I'll say this: they had cool castles in
Oh,
Milan.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have any castles in
The
Scottsdale.
Sforza Castle was really
Arizona.
You know, I like that you bring up Milan because I think everyone should know that one time Kevin Wheeler and I were having a very serious conversation about
Something. What was
the
it?
purpose of the universe.
Something
the,
like
the
that. It
meaning
was.
of
It was like
life,
deep.
and like what separates humans from the animals. And Kevin's insight was, well, my dog has no concept of Italy.
He doesn't. He doesn't know what Italy is. He's never been there.
That's because he doesn't read enough.
But he watches TV.
Yeah.
Well,
No, he
he's not.
does.
He's not retaining any of it.
No, he doesn't know anything about Italy. Come on.
Well,
But he knows horses.
Whose fault is that? I see that as an owner problem.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't teach him
So
very
what
well.
do they do at the World's Fair now?
Who knows? But
I
I,
don't
do
know.
have this one question about old World's Fair. So, like
Yeah.
the Columbian Exposition, Chicago one, the one
Yep.
we had here in 1904, they construct these buildings,
Mhm.
like actual buildings. And then when it's over, like they do with the Olympics too, in a lot of cases, they just tear them down.
But they're not like for
Like, why do they tear them down? Because some of them are really nice and could be used for something cool.
So they saved some of them. So famously,
Yeah, some of them are still here.
Famously, in 1904 World's Fair, think of all the green space in Forest Park. So much of that was gone. So they built the buildings to be temporary, like plaster of Paris,
Right.
quite literally, plaster of Paris buildings. So it wasn't that you were building true long-term freestanding buildings to be torn down. They were temporary from the get-go, except for certain pieces like the World's Fair Pavilion. I think the Art Museum had something to do with that time
Yeah,
period.
I think you're right.
And so some of them were meant to be temporary because you want to return the green space back to the parks where they hold them.
Also, that fact I gave you was wrong. I think the last one was 2020 in Dubai.
Oh, they held one in 2020?
Yeah.
With COVID?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That it was postponed, and it's going to happen. It's happening now.
Oh.
Oh, gosh.
You guys want to go?
No, it's over. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
what
over.
the heck, Kevin? That's a
Wait,
real
no,
roller.
it's happening now.
Oh my God,
no,
this
no, it's not. It's
this
over.
roller coaster, I can't stand it.
Okay.
I
This is
can't
why
stand
Kevin's
this.
not in the newsroom.
No. Guys, I got breaking. Nope, never mind.
You think that's the only reason?
Yeah. Why is the newsman shouting at us?
Did you hear what they were talking about on the Dave Glover Show?
This is possibly a perfect song.
Give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish.
I love that song. I don't know if you know that.
It's a
I'm
great.
serious.
The middle eight? The middle eight? Come on. The bridge in the McDonald's filet fish song?
I used to send that to somebody every first day I went. And once you hear it, it's stuck in your head like all day.
Give me that fish.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Boy, the financial headlines are concerning. Runaway inflation, taxes going up, wild swings in the market, and maybe another recession. It's no wonder that 57% of people getting ready for retirement are worried. But what if I told you the secret to taking control of your financial future is right there at your fingertips? Yes, it's the phone that you're looking at right now. Call Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group. They're hosting an exclusive educational event on July 13th at St. Peter's Cultural Arts Center. They'll discuss topics like building more income and paying fewer taxes in retirement. The event is complimentary, but seats do fill up fast. Call today, 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC. The All Financial Group and Retirement Wealth Advisors are not affiliated. The All Financial Group is a financial services firm that offers a broad array of products and services, including life insurance and annuities, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
At 12:30, we have sunshine, 92 degrees, feels like 94 downtown at the Arch. The head of the Texas Department of Public Safety says 3 minutes after a gunman entered a school where he slaughtered 19 elementary students and 2 teachers, there was sufficient armed law enforcement on the scene to stop the gunman. Yet police officers armed with rifles stood and waited in the school hallway for nearly an hour while the gunman carried out the massacre. British health officials will start offering vaccines to gay and bisexual men at the highest risk of catching monkeypox. It's an effort to curb the biggest outbreak of the disease beyond Africa. President Joe Biden's administration says it's restricting the use of anti-personnel landmines by the U.S. military, aligning more closely with an international treaty banning the deadly explosives. If you're traveling westbound on 44, you're backed up there. That accident west of Lewis Road was blocking the central lanes. Cameras turned the other way, so I can't see if it's still blocking. I know there are some vehicles on the right shoulder, and that's causing delays east of Antire. Our weather forecast, sponsored by STL Windows Direct. Sunny, hot, and humid today with a high of 100 overnight. Still in the 90s for the evening hours, and then clear skies tonight, lows of 78. Tomorrow, partly sunny, humid, a high of 94, and a chance of a pop-up storm. Right now, 92 degrees downtown. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Not all windows are created equal. See things more clearly with an STL Windows Direct window. Compare the difference at STLWindowsDirect.com. STLWindowsDirect.com.
STL Windows Direct.
Hey guys, Glover here for Svedka Vodka Soda. Go to the next level. Replace your go-to cocktail with Svedka Vodka Soda. Canned vodka cocktails made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water at 8% ABV. Visit Svedka.com today. Go responsibly.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Don't miss out on the good things in life because you're having a hard time hearing. Get your hearing checked today by Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. 3 locations, Creve Coeur, Florissant, and St. Peters. Dr. Bosler has a perfect solution for every patient with the latest technology and hearing aids. Ones you can swim and shower in, Bluetooth connect to your phone or TV, even translation apps. Your hearing is so important. Get it checked today by Dr. Colleen Bosler, 636-441-7470, or online at the audiologycenterstl.com.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
5-minute cash offer on your house. Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 314-946-9999. Local and family owned, we're going to buy your property direct in as-is condition. And we just rolled out the instant cash offer where you'll get an offer on your house in 5 minutes or less when you reach out to us. Find us online at ClaymanGroup.com for an instant cash offer now, KLAMEN Group.com, 946-9999, 314-946, all nines.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sundays at 10:15 on Sports Open Line and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
The pitch by Ueno. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. A home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
All right, back in on the show. Amy, Chris, and Kevin here. Cardinals with a 2-0 loss to Milwaukee last night. That was a tough pitcher's duel last night. You had Miles Mikolas, few innings there, flirting with a no-hitter, gave up a 2-run homer, and that's all the offense in the entire game. You kind of knew that game was going to be one of those. You know, I mean, Corbin Burns pitching for Milwaukee, and then obviously Mikolas has been pitching really well, plus the Brewers' offense hasn't been scoring. You kind of knew this would be a low-scoring one. Unfortunately, the only scoring was by the Milwaukee Brewers in that one last night.
You know how else I knew it was going to end up like that?
No.
Because yesterday I spent several minutes talking about how great the Cardinals' offense is.
Oh, that's true. It's your
And
fault.
you should never have to worry about them scoring runs throughout the season. And then, of course, immediately that happens.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to happen.
The thing we got to do, like, I know you don't do this, but as a group of people that observe a team, we have to understand that sometimes when you go up against an elite guy and he beats you, he's elite. I mean, Corbin Burns is a Cy Young caliber pitcher.
Yeah.
If he gets you, he gets you.
If it happens all the time, then it's a problem. But it really hasn't happened all that much with this team. Maybe earlier in the year, there were some more inconsistent offensive, productive nights. But it's been a whole lot better since then.
Just
This is it's one of the top 5 offenses in baseball. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Just as an example, like people, I've had a few people reach out to me. I mean, I get it on Twitter all the time. Like, they're striking out too much against these. Look, Nick Pivetta is a strikeout pitcher. He's who pitched for Boston on Sunday. Corbin Burns is a strikeout pitcher. And then you got Devin Williams and Josh Hader after that. It's not a big deal if you're striking out 12 times against them. It's a big deal if you're striking out 12 times tonight when you're facing a fill-in starter. I forget who they had replacing their initial starter was supposed to be Aaron Ashby, the lefty, but he's on the injured list now. So obviously it's not going to be him. But when you look ahead to tonight, they've replaced him with, it's Chichi Gonzalez. So he's a bit of a journeyman. If you strike out 12 times tonight, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, Jack Flaherty for the Cardinals. It'll be interesting to see
how he does,
how he follows up in his second outing.
Look, and it's going to happen against really good starters. Sometimes you're going to have to beat them. Sometimes you're going to have to score runs.
Yep.
But if you can never do it, then it's a problem. But that's really not the issue for them this year.
Right, because isn't Major League Baseball, when you look at these teams, you look at the caliber of the players that are on these teams, all of these guys are, doing their job. The teams that set themselves apart are the teams that have players that have extraordinary moments, probably more often than other teams. Do you know what I mean? Like when you have a pitcher and that pitcher's job is to give your team a chance to win the game, right? Keep runs down. Or you have a Paul Goldschmidt. You have to have players having extraordinary seasons in order to stand out.
Against other extraordinary players.
Well, it has to happen to win in the postseason, you have to be able to beat good pitching.
You have
to. That is an absolute fact.
That's what I mean. Right, yeah. Like, it's okay to strike out against a great pitcher a few times, but at some point you have to be better. You have to step up.
Well, and also like in the postseason, you need your pitchers to match those other guys too. And it's tough. I mean, this is why the postseason is random, by the way. People don't really understand the randomness of it. We all know it. Like, we instinctively know that the playoffs in hockey are random. Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen it so many times, 8 seeds beating 1 seeds and weird outcomes and all of that. It's the postseason in baseball is every bit as random.
I think it's more random because the NHL, you have 7-game series, 4 7-game series. It's such a long postseason that it usually shakes out that the better team wins. With Major League Baseball, you could get into a bad slump or have a bad series, and it doesn't reflect.
Yeah, or just run into a team that's got 2 hot starting pitchers, and all of a sudden now you've lost.
I would say what does happen in baseball is sometimes the best team can lose in a series.
Yeah.
And it can happen early, and it's happened a lot. I mean, we had the 116 win Mariners team from a long time ago that got bounced in the division series, I think it was.
Yep. By the White Sox, right?
I don't remember if it was them. I'm not sure, but they lost early. That can happen. What rarely happens is a team that's not very good at all, or maybe the least good of the playoff teams, running the table, winning the wild card, winning the division, winning the LCS and then World Series. That doesn't happen all that often. It can. It just usually doesn't.
Well, and so fewer teams go to the playoffs in Major League Baseball and National Hockey League.
Compared to everything else, really.
Teams go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right. How many All-Stars do you think this Cardinals team is going to end up having?
Wow, that's a really good question. How many are they going to have, or how many should they have?
Yeah. How many should they have? Because we do have some early voting results I want to tell you about.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Goldschmidt should be there.
3.
Let's see. So Goldie, Arenado will be there, I would think. I mean, he might even win the vote because he's a pretty popular player. That's probably on the position player side. That's probably it. Miles Michaelis should be getting consideration for that. You know who else? Ryan Helsley should be getting consideration for a spot in the bullpen. And Waino. I think Waino would be another one that's a contender.
All right, so we have some results. These are, and of course, pitchers are not.
They're not voted on.
Right, they're not voted on. The teams will, the manager will select. So Paul Goldschmidt right now, these are early All-Star voting results. He is leading for first baseman. He's in front of Pete Alonso and Freddie Freeman, and it's a comfortable lead too. Like
really?
He is.
That's fascinating because that's New York and LA.
In front of Alonso, he is 330,000 votes up over Pete Alonso. He's got 930,000 votes.
First of all, that's really impressive because, I mean, again, that's a New York Met and a Los Angeles Dodger. Those are the 2 biggest markets in baseball. That still worries me because if those fan bases get on a kick like, we got to get our guy in there, they have so many people. They can do that, but I'm impressed. I mean, like, it's good recognition because Goldie's having the best year of those guys.
As for third baseman, Nolan Arenado is second in voting behind Manny Machado, and he is a significant distance behind Machado, who's got 969,000 votes. Arenado has 581,000 votes. So that's a pretty big gap there so far. For catchers, Yadier Molina currently is in third. Wilson Contreras of the Cubs is first. Travis d'Arnaud of the Braves is second. And then it's Yadi. Meanwhile, for designated hitters, where do you think Albert is at the moment?
Ooh.
Voting-wise?
Voting-wise.
5th.
7th.
He is third.
Wow.
Right now.
Which is interesting because he doesn't play every day.
Nope.
I mean, he's playing mostly against lefties, occasionally against righties.
So that's Cardinals fans doing a lot of voting there. Bryce Harper is well in the lead.
Well, yeah.
He's having just an extraordinary season for the Phillies. He's got 1 million votes. He's over 1 million votes right now. Wilson Contreras.
It's also interesting to me that he's a DH in this because he's only a DH because of an injury that happened maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So how is he on the ballot as a DH?
I don't know.
That's weird.
And it's not Wilson. It's William Contreras, excuse me, of the Braves. He is in second. Like, he's got half the votes. He has literally just over half the votes. Yeah, he is listed as a DH. Albert is in third with 344,000 votes. Nolan Gorman is fifth for second baseman so far. Jazz Chisholm, Jazz Chisholm.
Cardinals fans are showing out.
I mean, they really are.
He's barely been in the big leagues, but like a 3-week run.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm is first. Then it's Ozzie Albies, Jeff McNeil, Gavin Lux, and then Gorman.
Did you know that Jazz Chisholm's teammates apparently hate him?
What?
Yeah. Did you hear about that?
Is this
like
a joke?
no. Like he's the young player with the Marlins, really talented, a lot of flair.
Yeah.
Talks a lot,
Uh-huh.
and apparently they had to have like a closed door meeting to just resolve their issues with Jazz Chisholm. Like,
Yikes.
there's some issues in the clubhouse.
So the door
He's a bit of a
wasn't clo-
talker, which I don't mind it, but when you're starting to clash with your teammates,
if your teammates aren't liking it, it might be a sign you need to cool it a little bit.
So was the door not closed all the way?
I don't know. All I know is this was reported out of South Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
Obviously wasn't closed that much. Shortstops.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think Tommy Edman is currently
Okay, so
in
again,
voting?
Tommy Edman is on the ballot at shortstop.
He is.
He's only been there for like 3 weeks.
Well, apparently that doesn't matter, Kevin.
Like this is what? No, I'm
Who
serious.
made
I'm serious.
these ballots?
No, it's weird because it's number one. It's because you're not doing paper ballots. They used to do the paper
Okay,
ballots.
I was going to bring that up. I had that written down.
Yeah.
I missed the paper ballots.
Yeah, they used to do that.
They used to hand them out at the ball
because you can
game.
do them online. They can change them on the fly, and like right when you're opening up the ballot, for example, because it's not open all season long.
Mhm.
So you have the ability to do that. I guess that's why the way they have it set up. But it's weird because Edman has probably played a good number more games at second base than he has at shortstop.
So right now,
He is fourth.
he is fourth.
Is he really?
He is fourth behind Trey Turner, Dansby Swanson, Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
And then it's Tommy Edman. Now, when you get to the outfield.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why are we reading outfield ballot? Or any Hall of Fame ballot? Hall of Fame
All-Star?
ballot. All-Star ballot.
Because there's just initial results.
Oh.
Just telling you where the Cardinals rank right now.
Okay.
Do you not want to hear this?
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, Kevin. Are we boring you?
Yes.
Okay, well then let's move on. No, why don't you talk about what you want to talk about, Kevin? Sorry, we won't talk about
No,
the Cardinals voting.
No,
nope.
finish. Go ahead.
Nope. Go right ahead, Kevin.
And Amendment 7 regarding usage of the water facilities.
Go right ahead, Kevin.
3 votes for more often. 4 votes for not often enough.
I'm sorry, Kevin doesn't care about Cardinals All-Stars.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I would think that he would care a little bit more about it, but he doesn't.
Kevin's eyes were glazing over.
Doesn't care. You know, we are the Cardinals flagship.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
nobody in
but
this
you're
room
reading all the other players.
No, I'm telling you
know
where
that it's Francisco Lindor.
I'm telling you where the Cardinals are in relation to the other people.
Very
how,
slowly.
How else would you like to find this stuff out?
You
So,
might
for example-
find this interesting, but Mike Trout had a big family party on Saturday.
What are you weirdos talking about?
What?
What are you weirdos talking about?
I don't know. We're just making fun of you for no reason.
Well, it's because you're idiots.
Well, that's true.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're disputing
Sorry,
that.
listen, Cardinals fans.
Okay,
I'm
so where's
sorry. I'm
Harrison Bader?
sorry that Kevin and Amy don't care about the Cardinals in the All-Star
See,
game. I'm sorry.
We do care about where the
I
Cardinals
care.
are. We don't care about the 7 guys surrounding them in the voting.
No, I'm just telling you who's in front of them. Wouldn't you like to know who's in? I
It
didn't
could be
tell
like,
you who was
hey,
behind
Harrison
them.
Bader is 4th, and Dylan Carlson is 7th.
Yes,
and
but
Albert
when you
Pujols is
hear
3rd, and
when you hear naturally, when you hear where a Cardinal is placed, don't you want to know who's beating them out?
not if they're 6th.
Well, I didn't
Not
say
if they're
sixth.
5th. Maybe if they're 2nd.
Okay, a third. I gave you third, and I gave you fourth.
Guys, we're in trouble.
Yeah, flagship of the Cardinals.
Hey, if you wanna
Flagship
see
of the Cardinals,
if you wanna
and
vote, you
nobody
wanna see those
cares.
ballots, you can go to MLB.com.
Getting coverage from the right health insurance shouldn't be complicated. Health Markets can help you search for a plan that fits your needs and budget with just a few clicks and questions. Health Markets scans and ranks insurance plans to find the right fit for you. Apply for whatever type of insurance you need: health, Medicare, dental, vision, life, and more. You can shop online at healthmarkets.com/easy or call one of our local licensed insurance agents by calling 833-833-5570. Take advantage of one-stop shopping to get free quotes and compare products from recognized insurance companies in your area. Get started today for free by visiting healthmarkets.com/easy or by calling 833-833-5570. That's healthmarkets.com/easy or call 833-833-5570. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed as an insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Service and product availability varies. Sales agents may be compensated based on enrollment.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota. If you're worried about gas prices, Toyota has the most models of hybrid electrics in the industry. From the best-selling Camry to the best-selling RAV4, we've got it all. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
I hear all the time for years now, sign up and be a preferred customer. My best recommendation I give my customers is never, ever sign an agreement that states if you purchase from me, in order for you to maintain your warranty, you must pay me hundreds of dollars a year. My philosophy is to shoot everybody straight. My customers come first. When that phone rings, you do not have to pay to be priority. You are priority number one. When that phone rings, you're preferred. I would prefer you call me than the preferred company that you're paying hundreds of dollars to every year. So try them, then call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Save the number. There are unscrupulous people that are pretending to be me. It's one easy number, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, Bart with a B, Inman with an I, 314-293-2600, or the same spelling, Bart Inman, a B and an I.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria, too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com.
Men, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, you can call other clinics and hope for the best. Or you can experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. Their licensed physicians offer treatments that have a 98% success rate, regardless of age or medical history. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with personalized care. Even men who have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, schedule a private consultation to experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on your first visit guaranteed, or your consultation is free. Call 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
It's a huge savings weekend at Farm and Home Supply. Friday, June 24th through Sunday, the 26th only. Save on in-store purchases. Plus, on Saturday between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m., get a free $20 Farm and Home Supply gift card for every $100 pre-tax you spend. Visit farmandhomesupply.com.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Cut up six-pack rings and reduce your use of plastic to help keep it out of our waterways and oceans. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Make a difference in the lives of people with disabilities. Become a direct support professional at Community Living, starting at $18 an hour. Go to communitylivingmo.org/careers.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444. Back to the show.
Yeah, the show.
With Amy, Chris, and Kevin on KMOX.
Oh, is that funny, Amy? She just called me old again during the break.
Well, you told her she looks 40.
That's not what I said.
You did.
I did not.
You said she's 80 years old
No,
with
I
a
did
40-year-old
not.
body. That is
Exactly
not what she
what
said.
he said.
Because,
Well,
because she was
she's-
making a reference that somebody our age should not know about what Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis. She's like, remember the old Jerry Lewis? And we're like, no.
Yeah, both of us were like,
What are
no,
you
I have no
talking
idea what you're
about?
talking about. And then you said you're 80 years old in a 40-year-old body.
Because she's old. Yeah, that's what we're.
How old are you, Amy?
38.
Yeah,
See?
man, see, that's about. I don't mean it. I'm saying like she is
I'm
in.
turning off my camera.
Amy is late into her fourth decade. So what?
Ugh.
Wow, you're just trying to say it the worst way possible.
It's
Well,
not
we
that
all-
you're
I mean, we
old,
all-
It's just that, you're on the back nine.
That's not.
You're no, that's
what I said.
That's more like me and Ron.
That
You're
is-
not quite. You're still on like the 7th tee. Ranji and I are on like the 13th
not-
hole, and we're in the rough.
Oh, Kevin, I'm in the clubhouse already. It's almost over for me, Kev. I play a fast course. Yeah, man. That's not what I said. I did not
You
call
did.
her.
You look
Well,
great,
I was-
Amy. You
I-
look 40.
I know. That's not what I said. What I'm saying is, never mind.
It was actually really funny, and actually, you were making a good point in that this reference was out of nowhere.
Right.
So you don't have to go into the full reference, but what is your Jerry Lewis reference from?
It's from a skit where he's
A skit.
ordering at a restaurant, and we were commenting on how riveting Ron's All-Star ballots were.
You guys don't care about
All-Star
the St.
ballots.
Louis Cardinals.
And
That's
it
not my
reminded
fault.
me of the skit where the waitress is like, "What kind of side do you want? What kind of steak? We
All right,
got
that's good.
rare, medium rare."
Yeah, I don't know what and she's like,
but
Jerry
what,
Lewis.
Is that from a TV show?
No,
Is
it's
it?
just I don't know, a movie, a skit.
Okay.
I don't know.
So like from what,
50.
50? How are you referencing anything from 1950?
Sometimes I feel like Amy was like, when a person is in the mountains for a long time and all they have for entertainment in the mountains, because they've got solar power, they have a TV and a VCR. And
rabbit ears, TV with rabbit ears.
yes, and all the videos that they have are stuff they bought before they moved to the mountains 40 years ago. Like all that stuff is like David, you know about this Jerry Lewis thing she's talking about?
No, and I think I started it because I go, "What are you, 80 years old, making a
Oh,
reference
that's true.
to Jerry Lewis?"
That's true. David's the one who called you
Yeah,
80.
it's all my fault.
You're not the first one to call me 80. I think, like, when I was hired here, I think they thought they were hiring a young person, and they realized we hired an old person.
It's just funny. Like, Ron, your point was correct.
Yeah.
Like, you were right. Like, that's a reference that's from an age beyond your own. But the way you said it was hilarious.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Because I said what
your low standards with the ladies is really making
that's
sense
not okay.
now.
Well, no, okay. No, all I said about that was if you're an 11, I can give it a lot of other things.
Well, you did it. He did it earlier because it was that whole trending. Like,
I know,
he's a
but
10.
he doubled
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. What? There are some things that you're willing to put up with.
you look great.
I think
you look 40.
I said I'm shallow. I didn't say you looked 40. I said you're.
You did.
I said you're almost 40.
No, you said she has a. You said that you. There's a big quote, and I'm quoting.
Yeah.
You are 80 years old in a 40-year-old body.
No. Well, that's not what I meant.
Oh, wait a minute. It was a joke.
It was a joke. Yeah, we don't. We.
Well, I mean, we were all laughing.
Yeah. Well,
I
we
found it
all
hilarious.
we all recognize jokes these days.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm so old
You really are.
in my head.
When they say old soul,
yeah.
like Amy is the exact definition of that.
I mean, like, we all have a group of, like all of our groups of friends, right? I have friends that are exactly my age that act like they're my dad's age.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of other friends that are my age and they're like me and we
Okay.
act like we're still 18 years old.
This comes as a surprise to nobody, but when I was younger, high school, college, and we would go to parties, I guess high school, because it was houses, friends' houses, and the parents were there. So we would go to parties. I would be the one like upstairs talking to the parents.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I would think.
And the grandparents. I'm huge with the grandparents.
Hey, by the way, there's this text message from a 314 says this is the Cardinals flagship station. So Amy wants to talk about running shoes.
Oh, yeah. Lighten up, Francis.
And it's the
We
Cardinals.
only did 12 minutes of regular baseball talk before that.
I did tell someone it was the Cardinals mothership.
Oh my
I think I meant flagship.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
you
you
did. Yeah, you did.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Marilyn Facer recommends 3-day kitchen and bath.
Working with Dave was an absolute delight. Once everything was scheduled, everything went perfect.
Have you ever had a remodel done before?
About 25 years ago, and it was a nightmare.
Was 3-day kitchen and bath on time?
There was no delays. Everything was on time. All the deadlines were met. Everything came at once.
Would you recommend 3-day kitchen and bath to your friends and neighbors?
I highly recommend them to anybody.
Top quality products and craftsmanship in 3 days or less. Call 3-day kitchen and bath. Always on time as promised, at the price promised, and your job comes with complete satisfaction guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Visit their website at 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-day kitchen and bath.
What are you reading?
About Gary Rabine, the Republican candidate for governor. I really like him.
What about those other guys spending all that money on TV?
If their ads indicate how they'll run Illinois, forget them. Gary Rabine cares about the real issues: crime, corruption, the culture war, and taxes.
I'm Gary Rabine. I can and will beat Pritzker. Let's turn Illinois around. It's Rabine time.
Paid for by Rabine for governor.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, sunshine, 94 degrees. It feels like 96 downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Kina. Our top story this hour: the House January 6th committee has opened hearings from local officials who fended off former President Trump's pressure to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Today's hearings will have testimony from Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger about Mr. Trump's call asking him to find 11,780 votes in order to prevent President Biden's election victory. Raffensperger, Deputy Gabe Sterling, and Arizona's Republican State House Speaker Rusty Bowers are also key witnesses. A filmmaker who says he has exclusive images of the Capitol attack and interviews with former President Trump after January 6th is cooperating with the U.S. House investigation. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott McFarland.
British documentarian Alex Holder in a statement says he has turned over video to the House Select January 6 committee, including interviews with President Trump, Ivanka, Eric, and Don Jr. Trump, in the days before and the days after January 6th, and footage never before seen, he says, of the attack on January 6th. He was subpoenaed. He says he will fully comply and appear for a deposition Thursday.
The State Department is confirming the death of a U.S. citizen in Ukraine who is believed to be only the second American to have been killed in that conflict. Eric Greitens does not think people will take his new senatorial ad campaign seriously.
I don't think there's a real person in Missouri who thinks about it literally.
Greitens talked with our sister station, 97.1.
What you're seeing is a tremendous amount of faux outrage from leftists and rhinos. And the reason why, Ryan, is because it's an extraordinarily effective ad. It's working. It has a sense of humor. And it also points out very clearly that rhinos have failed us.
Now, KMOX reached out to Greitens, but our call has not been returned.
I'm Stuart McMillan. The Missouri State Highway Patrol confirms to KMOX on Monday they did receive a call from Missouri Senate Majority Leader Caleb Rowden regarding Eric Greitens. When KMOX asked Captain John Holtz if there was any investigation launched, Holtz said that's all he would say.
This video is bad.
That's Lucas Kuntz, retired Marine and Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate, who does not find the Greitens ad about hunting rhinos funny, despite Greitens' insistence that people should.
I think he wants people to think it's literal. I think he's going for shock value, and he's one of those guys, again, who, like, they will say something to see what the response is and then play it off as a joke.
He says Greitens should not even be in a U.S. Senate race and thinks he should drop out. Kuntz calls Greitens a criminal who, because he has, or at least was in power, was able to make deals to keep himself from facing consequences. From the First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, you'll have plenty of company if you're hitting the road this upcoming holiday. CBS correspondent Jim Crisula.
AAA says 48 million Americans will travel during the 5-day 4th of July holiday period. 42 million will travel at least 50 miles from home by car, despite near record high gas prices.
The thing that really struck us the most was the record number of people who are planning to go by car this July 4th, more than even traveled pre-pandemic in the peak travel year of 2019.
AAA spokesman Andrew Gross says there's plenty of pandemic pent-up demand for travel. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
And for a check of our stocks, a good afternoon on Wall Street, up 573 points to 30,462. A check of traffic. It looks like they've cleared that accident now from westbound 44 that was out by Antire. But watch out for a stall northbound 270 before Dorset. That has the two right lanes blocked, and an accident now westbound 364 at 94. That has the right lane closed. Dean DeVore has a check of our forecast.
We're going to see one of the most intense part of this second heat wave of the season this afternoon when we get up to 100, which would break the record of 99. Real feels 105. Still in the mid-90s tomorrow with thunderstorms coming in. It knocks a little bit of the heat down for Thursday, low 90s, but then it's right back up in the mid-upper 90s Friday and Saturday. There will be thunderstorms later Saturday night that will bring us back into the 80s for Sunday and Monday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's 92 degrees in St. Peter's. Florissant checking in with 94. In downtown of the Arch, it's 94, but feels like 96. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Mosby Building Arts.
Old windows, won't open windows, broken by a baseball windows, vinyl windows, wood windows, all types of windows. If you need new windows, trust Mosby Building Arts for quality windows installed the right way. Visit callmosby.com for window inspiration.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
All right, back in on the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores. Kevin Wheeler with you here. You can find us on Twitter. It's at the show KMOX. There you can find all of the ways to interact. We've got a bunch of texts that we've been going back and forth on, 314-436-7900. You can use the voicemail line at 314-944-1120. Listen on the Odyssey app on 98.7 FM, 1120 AM. And by the way, I should point out, within the last couple of days now, the show podcast is up on all of the podcast sites. So obviously the Odyssey app and all of the podcasts that are there, iTunes, you name it, it's all out there for you. So a lot of ways for you to be a part of the show. And we haven't really come back to, guys, the story in Uvalde, Texas in a while. And, there are hearings going on as we speak. And it might be over now, but they've been going on throughout the day today, and a few interesting developments in the coverage here. First of all, there was a testimony here. The Texas Department of Public Safety is kind of like it runs all of the state police, right? And the director, Steve McCraw, is testifying based about the video that they've now analyzed since the incident nearly a month ago. And here are a couple of things that came out today. First one, and we'll just go one by one. We don't have to go. I'm not going to go through them all. But when he was asked after reviewing the footage what was going on with the officers waiting to go in the room, was asked whether or not they had even tried the door handle. The answer was no. There was no sign that anybody had even tried the door handle. And they asked the officers that breached the door if they had tried it, and they said, no, we just breached the door. And obviously the people that were there lined up in the hallway, according to the public safety director, Steve McCraw, nobody tried the door.
Yeah, I mean, and there's new video that has recently come out showing the armed officers in the hallways of the school. And it was, I believe, 29 minutes before the second round of shooting took place, an hour before the shooter was actually taken down. And to think that these officers could have responded in 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes. I don't know. Someone pointed out, how in the world can every update to this story be worse than the last?
It's very difficult because on the day of, well, I think what we heard, it was probably that day or the following day that they were waiting on a key. They were waiting on a key from a janitor to get into the room. But there is video evidence that it appears maybe nobody even tried to get into classrooms 111 and 112, which is where all that the shooting actually happened. Like, how do you, and I know that they took fire. I was watching a report yesterday from KVUE, which is an Austin television station. And there is a reporter there by the name of Tony Plahetsky who got a chance to watch the video for himself. He doesn't have possession of the video, but he was able to watch it. And I'm not exactly sure how he got it because it hasn't been released publicly. So somebody who does have access to the videos and to some of the evidence is leaking it to the press because they feel like people need to know, since we're not getting a lot of information otherwise from the police. And he said you can see them move toward the door and then they take some fire and they retreat pretty quickly, but you can't tell if they tried to open the door or not. But apparently there is video evidence that suggests they did not.
How about this? So this is some more of the testimony from, again, Colonel Stephen McGraw is in charge of the Texas Public Safety Department, runs the police. Here's his testimony, and this is at a special committee of the Texas State Senate. He said there's compelling evidence that the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary was an abject failure and antithetical to everything we've learned over the last 2 decades since the Columbine massacre. He said 3 minutes after the subject entered the West Building, there was a sufficient number of armed officers wearing body armor to isolate, distract, and neutralize the subject. The only thing stopping the hallway of dedicated officers from entering rooms 111 and 112 was the on-scene commander who placed the lives of the officers before the lives of the children. That is from the guy who is the director of law enforcement in the state of Texas.
And if you have an abject failure of your methodology, whatever it is, in that moment from the top down, the story, we have the video, we know the timeline, we know the officers with their tactical gear and their guns were in the building while periodically gunshots were still ringing out. And I want to take back the 29 minutes. I want to make sure I can quote that. But basically, it was minutes were passing and then gunshots were continuing to ring out. Even if the top guy fails and maybe the guy underneath him fails, how did none of those officers have that visceral response that kids are being gunned down just across the door and say, I'm going in, I'm taking down the attacker? We had moms do that. We had dads feel that way. I think we've all talked about that response. How can you be in that moment hearing the gunshots and stand there? I don't understand how somebody didn't take action in that moment, regardless of what the radios were saying to do.
According to that Austin reporter that I mentioned a moment ago, he was saying that some of the body cam footage, you can hear some of the officers talk about that, like, we should be going. And again, I'm paraphrasing here. I don't know the exact words, but it did sound like at least some of them were having an internal debate, like, we should be, why aren't we going in there? Because they were being told to stand down. So they did not ignore those orders. They didn't seem to agree with them, but they went along with them.
Like, and I think that's what's fascinating, because again, I'm going back to this testimony from Stephen McCraw, who is making the point, like, we know what this is. You know what the protocol is. They've all been trained on this. I mean, we know that Uvalde had a SWAT team. They had SWAT gear. They had gone through training on this. That right, not long before the shooting, they had done a training session at the school.
Right.
So how does instinct not kick in rather than just listening to what's coming over the radio? And this, again, McCraw says it this way. He said, the officers had weapons, the children had none. The officers had body armor, the children had none. The post-Columbine doctrine is clear and compelling and unambiguous. Stop the killing.
So and if you know that, and you've been trained in that, and all of these officers were trained in that and knew that, and then you have the school district's police chief, Pete Arredondo, who said he made an error because he thought it was a barricaded suspect and not an active shooter. How do the other officers not recognize that it is not a barricaded suspect? It is an active shooter, as they hear the gunshots ring out, as they know more 911 calls are coming from the children inside. At that point, you recognize the error and you go on your training, which is unequivocal. You take down the active shooter, even if it means you will lose your life. Then the next guy comes in. That's just, it's their training.
Look, it's a terrible situation. It is not easy. It's a lot easier in retrospect to criticize. Right. I 100% agree. But you chose the job.
That's the job.
And you did the training, and you were instructed as to how this works. And if the worst thing that can happen if you go is you're shot and killed, right? The next worst thing, shot and wounded, not killed. After that, maybe lose your job. But again, when you've signed up for that job and you've gone through the training and you have the body armor and you have the weaponry that you need, again, at what point does instinct overtake a bad order? An order and that wasn't an illegal order, but an order that contradicts all of the training that you've had.
And that's not, I don't know.
And it's a tough question, but it seems like the answer should be easy,
but
right?
I would like to think that I would overwrite it. I don't know, but the bottom line is what you said. It's a job you volunteered for. You did not get drafted into being an officer. You chose that position. And when you have something like this happens, when something like this does happen, it stinks that this is happening. It stinks that you have been thrown into the middle of this under no fault of your own, but it is the job. And you have to make sure those kids, or you can save as many of them as possible. And to know that they were at 11:52 a.m., they were in the hallway with at least one ballistic shield. They were there. There's a photo of it with a timestamp on it, because again, we don't have the actual school security video, but we do have one screenshot of that video, and you can see the officers. They've got what looks like assault weapons. They have that shield, and they're just standing down the hallway. This was from the reporter I mentioned again. He says investigators believe it's significant because it indicates they had more than enough firepower and protection to enter the classroom before they did. Officers were growing impatient far sooner. Quote, if there's kids in there, we need to go in there, said one officer on body cam footage. So I don't, I know this is all happening kind of rapidly, but you would think once he's in the room and several minutes have gone by, you would think that you would let that thought overpower everything else. Like, hey, there are kids in there. We have to go. You've had a little bit of time to process what's happening. We need to get in there. And none of them did that. I don't know what to think of it. I would like to believe that if I were in that situation, I were them, I accepted that job, I were being paid for it, that I would go in there. I like to think I would. I don't know, but also I haven't accepted that job.
No, and I do want to be clear. Like, there's no question that it's a difficult thing. And what has kind of put me down the path that I'm on in the way that I'm addressing is the fact that the head law enforcement officer is categorizing this the way that he is, as an abject failure.
Right.
Like, those aren't my words. That's from the guy that's in charge of law enforcement in the state of Texas. So that is the update on the story. I don't know exactly what's going to come of it. You're not bringing any of the lives back, which is really the worst part. All right, stick around. We got more coming your way on the show on KMOX.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 1120 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Guys, I want to talk to you man to man about erectile dysfunction and PE. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer custom blended medications that have men lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
Tom Ackerman sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Those who've built their own financial success know that moving forward requires not just the right tools, but an in-depth knowledge of how to use them. That's why Edelman Financial Engines gives you a dedicated wealth planner supported by a team of experts. We know a modern wealth planning relationship demands human insight powered by advanced technology. Our advice is tailor-made for your personal goals, and our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research. We model more than 38,000 securities, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. See what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines, built for those who built themselves.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Shopping around for new HVAC systems is something nobody ever wants on their to-do list. So let's help make things easier with free estimates on new equipment, up to $2,150 on Carrier Cool Cash rebates, and 0% financing for up to 72 months. With over 50 years of award-winning service, you can trust Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling with your new system install. For details and to get in your comfort zone, contact Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. no strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Work or play, KMOX is right there with you. We go where you go.
All right, it's a show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Lot of, I know we had some fun earlier, but a lot of not fun stuff in the news, right? I mean, we just talked about the update on Uvalde. The Senate hearings are going on right now. We talked earlier about the Greitens ad, and while that one is not of the grave nature of the other things, it's not about what those other things are. It's still another one of these things that becomes. Well, I mean, it's controversial right out of the get-go, but it becomes something bigger than it even needs to be. And when we touched on the Greitens ad earlier, I don't know what you guys like. I don't know that there's a big takeaway here. I think we all agree that what Greitens said, that no rational person would take that as a literal call to arms, and I agree with that. Right? I mean, none of us did. I didn't see that ad and say, "Oh my gosh, he really wants to hunt humans." I didn't take it that way. And I don't think normal people, regular people do. But as we look at the shooting in Uvalde, we look at shooting in Buffalo, we look at all the others that are happening.
The Kavanaugh assassination
the Kavanaugh
attempt,
thing,
the violence against pregnancy and counseling centers.
Right.
I mean, it's
these things are not done by rational people. They're not done by people that are acting on intellect and they're acting on an emotional reaction, or they have issues that prevent them from being connected to reality the same way other people are.
Let's talk about the Kavanaugh thing, for example. Yeah. That guy who traveled, I forgot how many miles to go there across the country, he was on the phone with 911 the entire time. And he was recognizing that it was a mental episode. He was having a mental episode. He was on the phone. He's like, I'm outside Kavanaugh's house. I have a gun. It wasn't loaded. It was in a suitcase of some kind, some sort of case that he had put on the sidewalk.
He had other things too, like knife. And
and they weren't on his person. They were like in the car or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he's talking to 911, and this is according to reporting from about a week ago. And he's saying that he's like it's very obvious according to the transcript, and I read the transcript of the audio, that he's having some sort of mental breakdown, and the woman keeps him on the line the entire time, and then they eventually come and get him. But he was clearly mentally unwell, and that's what happens when you have somebody who is unwell, and then you see an ad like the Greitens ad. You're going to maybe be confused, and you're going to see that as some sort of call to action. And then you're going to go do whatever. We are all reasonable people in here. We would not see it that way. But there are too many people who are ill who wouldn't see it that way.
Yeah. And I mean, I am a proponent of the First Amendment, and the First Amendment protects the speech of people that are offensive, speech that you don't like, right? If we only had speech that we liked, we wouldn't need the First Amendment. But whenever we look at political ads and we're assessing the appropriateness or the wisdom of the politician behind them, all of those assessments are made not just, well, it's America, we have the right to say whatever we want. You're looking at discernment, you're looking at context, and maybe 10 years ago, people would have thought that this was funny and it was clearly a joke. But in the current political environment, when we have had so much violence against politicians, public servants, public officials. We had a shooting recently. We have the January 6th hearings going on. And we know that people are taking these words to heart, that there is an existential crisis of democracy in America, and that only our action will save us from demise. this this political ad with the guns and hunting rhinos, and it's, open season on rhinos, is wildly irresponsible. And as you said, Kevin, it's not we're not afraid of the logical, reasonable person seeing this ad and taking
it's not
action.
about the 99%.
But what it is about is, again, some of the people that were storming the Capitol with zip ties and threatening to hang Mike Pence. It's these pseudo-patriots who are role-playing soldiers, and they want the glory of soldiers, but they have no idea, really, about combat and courage, and really what all like these soldiers out, over the course of history have actually lived. In their minds, it's a game. So they think they're tough because they're going to dress up in tactical gear and pretend to hunt rhinos, which, by the way, would be like someone like me. Do you know what I mean? It's so ridiculous. It's like they want to feel that they're a greatest generation because they're standing up for democracy and it's not that at all. They have no idea what the greatest generation went through. And it's a weird type of role playing, and that's who that commercial appeals to.
The visual of, okay, if you were to take that video literally of those men in their stacking formation, busting through the front door with the grenade or whatever it is, and then there's Amy. Like that's who you're going after? This person who's just in her house watching TV, watching Netflix? Come on.
It's all about summer heat and humidity. Summer weather.
We're breezy and we're hotter today. We're going to get up to 95.
Summer traffic. 2 major closures.
Plenty of detours.
Ramps that are closed. Up to the minute forecast from Dean DeVore and Dave Murray. Keeping it all about sunshine.
It looks like the weekend gets sweltering again.
The latest traffic from Roger Brand.
Southbound Lindbergh on the westbound 270 closed for the next 3 weeks.
Stay up to date.
Keep abreast of the current information.
It's super important for me to know when you need to know. We've got you covered on News Radio 1120 KMOX.
The following is a commercial announcement.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need, and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money, simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
CertaPro painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
The power of timeliness.
We show up when we say we will, on time and fully caffeinated.
The power of transformation.
Also known as making your house look so good, your neighbors will be jealous.
The power of certainty.
That's your local CertaPro painters. The power of pro. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Hey, St. Louis, I want to have an honest conversation about real estate. Never in modern history have we seen a market like this before, and most homes are receiving multiple offers, often well over asking. You can trust that when you hire us, we will market your home correctly and professionally while saving you money. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and I've been a broker for over 18 years and have helped thousands of my clients navigate every type of market, including this one. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Gas Appliance Service has just made getting your new gas, charcoal, or pellet grill easier than ever. Gas Appliance Service by Westport and Fireplace and Grill Center in Manchester not only offers an amazing selection of top name brands, they offer you professional installation and stand by their product warranties. Those big box stores don't even compare. Stop by or shop online at gasapplianceservice.net. Just click for your estimate and get grilling at gasapplianceservice.net.
At 1:30, sunshine, 94 degrees. It feels like 96 downtown at the Arch. The lead Republican in bipartisan legislation talks, Senator John Cornyn, tells Reuters lawmakers are expecting to introduce a bill to address mass shootings later today.
The Texas Republican says he spoke with his fellow negotiators early in the day and that they are now waiting for staff to produce legislative text. The group has been working on a deal since a gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Negotiators announced a framework deal over a week ago, but talks have hit a snag in the past few days. Introducing the bill Tuesday gives lawmakers more time to debate before they leave for their 2-week July 4th break. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
If that bill passes, it would be the most significant action to combat gun violence from Congress in years. The Supreme Court is limiting the reach of a federal statute that requires stiff penalties for crimes involving a gun. The 7-2 decision united both conservative and liberal justices. The justices say the law cannot be used to lengthen the sentences of criminals convicted of a specific attempted robbery offense. A check of our traffic right now. Southbound 55 drivers, the 2 left lanes are blocked just before Loughborough. That's due to an accident. They should have that cleared up pretty quickly. Our forecast for this afternoon, sunshine, hot, humid with a high near 100 degrees. Evening temps only in the 90s, and then for tonight, not that cool. Clear and a low of 78 degrees for tomorrow, partly sunny, hot and humid once again. We do have a chance of storms with an afternoon high of 95 degrees. The weather is sponsored by Metro Transit. Rising gas prices are straining budgets across St. Louis, and Metro Transit is there to help. When you commute with Metro, all you need to do is park, ride, relax, and save money while Metro handles the driving. There are 23 Metro ride lots in garages and 6 free Metro lots. Beat rising gas prices and start your commute at metrostlewis.org today. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria, too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com.
Lockheed Martin understands what it takes to accomplish critical missions around the globe. They know it begins with long-standing partnerships rooted in expertise, interoperability, and trust. The most critical missions call for the F-35. It is essential to Allied air power. Across the growing community of F-35 nations, the need for alliance-based deterrence against evolving threats is stronger than ever. Lockheed Martin, your mission is ours.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Join me Monday mornings at 9:50 for our new feature, 5 Minutes with Number 5. And you know who that is? Albert Pujols. 5 Minutes with Number 5. Mondays at 9:50 a.m. on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
134 on the show. Chris, Ron, Jamie, Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. You guys can find us at the show, KMOX on Twitter, and on our pin tweet. You can find all the different ways to reach out to the show, contact us, listen in many different ways on the Odyssey app, where you can find us on Facebook.com and YouTube.com. All of that there at the show, KMOX. All right, I have a question for you guys. I mean, obviously, we touched on it earlier in the week without Jamie. I'm sorry. We had to do some things that are topical.
I understand.
Yeah, we couldn't save it all. We had to save some. But we're talking about gas prices. And, over the weekend I traveled. I went through 3 states, and there you could see the different price ranges of gas in 3 states. You kind of did the same thing, right?
Yeah, it was cheaper in Missouri, super expensive in Illinois, and then cheaper in Wisconsin.
Really? Was Wisconsin similar to here?
Yep.
Okay. Because then I was here, Illinois, and then Indiana, and Indiana was similar to Illinois. They were like 25, 30 cents more a gallon there than it is here.
Right.
Well, this is a constant topic of conversation, and so now people are trying. By people, I mean people in positions of power in the government are trying to figure out ways that they can help. So some states are trying things like gas tax holidays, where we're going to stop charging state tax on your gas purchases for a period of time. In some states, it's 6%, 8%. Others, it's like 18%. So there's a range of them. I think California, it's like 50 cents per gallon or something like that. It's a lot.
It's California, it's just expensive.
It's a lot. So there are states that are doing different things, others that are talking about it. The Biden administration has been kicking around gas rebates. I don't know, they're like sending out gift cards or what. Just what you guys have seen of this concept. One, how much does it really impact regular people?
Right.
Like, how much benefit do you get? And also, if we're taking tax holidays, what's not getting funded fully because of that decision?
Okay, so to your last concern, that was brought up by Senator Mitt Romney, who he was afraid that altering the gas tax could jeopardize, for instance, public highway infrastructure projects and things like that, because any project under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which was signed by Biden last year, could be affected by this. So that's something that Senator Romney brought up. But my first thought is, with inflation so high across the board in every area, this gas tax holiday doesn't really help people in their pocketbooks. But if anything, it almost, in my mind, would be inflationary. Does that make sense?
No, that's 100% a criticism of it.
It's inflationary. So now it almost feels like a political gesture. He's trying to score points for something that not only doesn't accomplish what he thinks it will, but is actually counterproductive.
Well, I mean, you can't, I suppose, if you're going to make the argument that he's not doing enough to curb it, what then should he be doing? Because this would probably cause problems for inflation that's already high. It does not fix the problem, which is the main problem for gas being as expensive as it is, because supply. It's all about supply. Everybody is wanting to drive. Everybody has gone out and started doing things again, going back to last year, traveling more, driving more. So there's more of a supply when all of these, as we talked about yesterday, Kevin, a lot of the production was ramped down during COVID, and it takes a long time to ramp those things back up. So the supply's not there. This does nothing to address that. And in fact, probably leads to there being more of an effect on inflation. And if we are upset about inflation and things being high and expensive, this is not going to help that.
And the worst part about it is the people that would benefit the most from even a small change, even if it was $10-20 a week that you would save, are the people that are going to get hosed no matter what. Right? I mean, if you're at the point where an extra $10 a week in gas is a difference maker for you, you're already getting kicked in the teeth all the time.
Right.
So we can sit here and say, well, we don't want inflation to go up. Well, that person doesn't care about inflation. That person's like, I need to be able to buy food. And that extra $10 could be more food as opposed to more gas because I got to go to work to make money. And I know it's not a lot of money, but if you say $40 a month to people that are on a very tight income, it's something.
It is a lot.
It may not be a lot, but it's
to
something.
Some people it is.
It's something, right? And is the balance of the discussion, what's the bigger risk, increasing inflation with these amounts of money being back into the economy, or that person being able to have to be able to shop for food as opposed to put it into their gas tank?
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating because, again, we looked at the stimulus packages and the trillions of dollars that were pumped into our economy. Now, they had bipartisan support. Now, Biden and many of the Democrats wanted the stimulus to be 3 times what it was. They wanted it upwards of $6 trillion versus $2 trillion. We see now that the checks and the actions that our government took in the middle of the COVID crisis were highly inflationary. And I'm saying we all
had to, though.
We all agree that something needed to be done.
Absolutely.
But remember, Biden wanted it to be 3 times
as
big
but it wasn't.
as it was.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So now we have a government created crisis when it comes to inflation. Right. And some of it was going to happen anyway. My goodness, Trump, we would have had inflation with Trump. And then Biden is acting like he had nothing to do with it, that it's Putin's price hike, but he's going to help us all by giving us a gas tax holiday.
How do you guys feel
strikes me as
about the
empty.
fact that, I mean, like, because we read the article from Kiplinger's yesterday that went through the 4 main factors in all of this policy, right? The move away from fossil fuels, the policies that are leading that way are damaging that industry. It's causing costs to rise. The Keystone Pipeline not being approved for use. These things have affected this. I mean, that's written by a financial analysis firm, right? That's Kiplinger's. They also pointed out the war, which is a part of it, because that threatened some oil supplies to Europe, which threatens the world market, right? If they're not getting it from Russia anymore because of what's going on in that conflict, they're going to get it from somewhere. That means you're all competing for a smaller pool. So that is less supply and higher demand, which means higher prices. So that's a part of it. The other part of it is still not being ramped back up from the shutdowns during COVID, because they didn't need as much supply during that time because people weren't driving. Everybody was staying home. And then the other part, the last part, the one that bothers me more than any of the other 3, is that it's being done partly intentionally by the oil companies, because rather than investing the money that they're making now, because they did post record profits in this first quarter of the year, rather than putting that into restarting some of the wells that weren't being used, into restarting production, they paid it out to shareholders.
Well, that's because, again, just playing devil's advocate here. The oil companies are there to make a profit. And when you have a decreased supply, they can increase the percentage of their profit margin per barrel, because with increasing government regulations, it costs more to create barrels of oil. So they're actually incentivized to produce less oil.
So then we can't say this is Biden's tax hike. This is Biden's gas tax or whatever.
I mean, it's partly that.
But it's partly that. It's partly the regulations. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
make
partly,
it more
but in
expensive.
great part, it is not that. But that's not what we're focusing on. Everybody wants to blame the administration when there are much bigger issues at play here. Joe Biden is not, as much as I'm Joe Biden, he's fine, whatever. Like, he's not really, I'm not a huge fan of him.
They're not handling this well at all.
No, they're not. They're not. But he is not the reason it cost $8 a gallon in Belgium. No. He's not responsible for gas prices around the world, which are high around the world. It is not just here.
And Europe's inflation is different than our inflation, but Europe has even more regulations than we do when it comes to most everything. So Biden is not the only reason, but he and his policies are a reason.
Right, and that's fine. So let's say it's all of these things. That's what I'm talking about. Let's not just say it's one, but it's easy to do that. Just like in baseball, it's easy to blame the manager when the team's not playing well. When a lot of times it's not just him. There are a lot of other factors at play. If we want to have an honest conversation and reach honest solutions that are real and will work, we can't just keep saying it's this dude and he's the one causing these gas problems.
We also have to push back on the idea that if the motive is profit, that makes it okay. Because I understand that that's what they exist, but when the COVID shutdown happened, they had their hands out for government money.
Right.
They got more than $8 billion in handouts. And now that times are good, there's no expectation of repaying said favor. There's no expectation that while the government will give you our money when things are tough for you, that you'll, I don't know, maybe cut the rest of us a break when things are good for you.
Well, I know we're running out of time, but I do want to bring it back to, a lot of people want to point the finger at Biden or place the responsibility of inflation solely on him. No. Is he a big reason? Is he a reason? Yes, he absolutely is. But I think one reason why people feel that they have the psychological permission to point their finger at Biden, because the Biden administration loves to take credit for the things that go right, as if he's solely the reason.
That's any
unfortunately,
we're talking about every administration in
That's
history.
Exactly right. No, you're right. I mean,
but this one's in charge now, and they get the heat
yeah,
now.
Sure.
Yes, he's in
but
charge.
we also need, if we're going to be honest, let's recognize all of the issues, all of the factors that are making this a problem, and not just him. That's where I think this gets intellectually dishonest, is when we are only focusing on one person, because that is nonsense. It is not just him. This is a worldwide problem. Literally a worldwide problem.
But in fairness,
and we're saying it's his.
In fairness, though, there were things that went wrong during Trump's time, and he got blamed.
Sure, which not everything was his fault either. You're right.
But that's the
to
pushback.
Be clear, too. If it's a worldwide problem in multiple countries, it doesn't mean that there is a monocausal explanation for that. What it means is there can be policies. If there are 10 countries dealing with inflation, there can be 10 countries with policies that worsen the inflation.
And also,
in those
COVID
countries.
was all over the damn world too.
Yeah,
that starts all of this. Everything goes back to COVID.
I don't disagree, but you took the job. Just like we were talking about earlier. You took the job. You ran for the office. You made promises. You've got to do that job better.
And he's got the House
I
and
agree.
the Senate.
Yeah,
He's got the House and the Senate. Where are we going to point the finger?
Well, I agree, but again, let's not lose sight of where all of this is headed, and the reason we're dealing with all of it is not just one administration of one country.
Energy prices are at all-time high. If your air conditioners are working right now, here's what I tell all my customers. You guys are important to me, truly important to me. Someday you will need a new furnace and air conditioner. You will. And if I lie to you now, you'll never call me. If I tell you the truth now, 10 years from now, you'll call me. You do not need to replace your air conditioner because the energy prices are so high. Do not think for a second that I could sell you a $20,000 or $15,000 air conditioner and it's in your best interest. It is truly not in your best interest. If your air conditioner breaks or it's broken, or if somebody says you need something, you need a new one, talk to them, then call me. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Call the right number, call the right company. It's Bart Inman, 314, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman. That's 314-293-20, Missouri and Illinois. You know how to do that, Andrew, with the Missouri and Illinois thing. Or bartinman.com. That's Bart B. inmani.com.
When you think about the ideal community, what do you picture? For Community Living, Inc., it's a community where all people lead fulfilling lives. Community Living is a local nonprofit organization on a mission to provide services and create opportunities for people with disabilities so they can achieve their highest potential. In turn, they make our community more inclusive, diverse, and overall better place to live. Learn more about Community Living's mission, upcoming events, employment opportunities, and more at communitylivingmo.org. KMOX June, Voice of Caring Partner.
Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. The doctors' doctors. They've treated more doctors than any other practice in St. Louis.
Our national debt is now over $30 trillion, an increase of over 20% in just the past 2 years. I'm sure you've been told at some point that taxes will be lower when you retire, but do you truly believe that? Now is the time to begin planning for the future of tax increases. Is your financial advisor helping you with tax planning for a tax-efficient future? If not, this is the time to call me, Ken Heisey, at Heisey Advisory Group, 314-328-4400. If you're like most people, you have a portfolio of investments, but a portfolio is not a plan. How have you planned for the potential legislative risk of increased taxes? Call Heisey Advisory Group now and let us help you create a plan to reduce the tax risk in your retirement. Call 314-328-4400, 314-328-4400.
Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
Guys, I want to talk to you for a minute, man to man, about erectile dysfunction and PE. How are you doing in the bedroom? Are you still the man you used to be? Or are you feeling the disappointment of ED? Are you experiencing the embarrassment of PE? Happens to a lot of us. That's why you should call Paramount Men's Medical Center. Their licensed physicians can help solve your problem. They'll talk to you about ED or PE. They'll offer custom blended medications. There's no pain or surgery. And you'll see results right in the office at Paramount Men's Medical Center. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. And it's affordable. So, man to man, contact Paramount Men's Medical Center now for a private consultation. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold BMW. The new all-electric BMWs are here, and it proves that you don't have to be ugly to be electric. Come and drive one of these, and you'll kick your Tesla to the curb. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
It's a huge savings weekend at Farm and Home Supply. Friday, June 24th through Sunday the 26th only. Save on in-store purchases. Plus on Saturday between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m., get a free $20 Farm and Home Supply gift card for every $100 pre-tax you spend. Visit farmandhomasupply.com.
Members of Children's Miracle Network hospitals treat more than 10 million children each year. Your local member hospital ensures that every child receives the best possible care. Show your support at cmnhospitals.org because kids can't wait. Visit cmnhospitals.org.
Community Living Incorporated is a local nonprofit organization on a mission to provide services and create opportunities for people with disabilities. See how you can get involved at communitylivingmo.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris. What is this weird show? The Show on KMOX.
All right, getting ready to wrap it up on the show. DGS coming up after the top of the hour news. And so I saw a story, guys, yesterday, and I posted this last night to our little Google document just to make sure we didn't forget about it. So a 60-year-old man in Scotland was not allowed to donate blood when he went to do so. He apparently has been a regular donor over the course of time. So he has done this process, gone through this process many times before. But he was not allowed to donate blood because he would not answer the question on the medical survey as to whether or not he was pregnant.
Oh. He didn't want his wife to find out, or?
I don't know. Now, the clinic has said, listen, we have this form. We need everybody to answer all the questions on the form. It seems like a simple yes or no. You're a 60-year-old male that cannot be pregnant. Just click no, go on with the blood. But he decided that was not the course of action he wanted to take.
Did he think it was invasive?
So he just didn't answer it. And then they said, well, we can't let you do that.
That's why I'm a bit confused, because there are always generic forms. So was this a paper form? Was it an online form where he clicked I'm male and then it said, are you pregnant? Because I
think it sounded like it was like a piece of paper.
Because I've gotten a paper form and it's like you check the box, male or female. The paper form doesn't know which box you've checked. So it also asks if I have a history of prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And I check the box. No, I don't. So if this is a paper
Are you sure,
form,
though?
if this is a paper form, and it said, male, female, are you pregnant? It shouldn't have bothered him. So the only way I can see this being offensive to him is if it was screen by screen, appropriate questions popped up, and he clicked on male, he clicked on his age, and then it said, are you pregnant?
Now, the story that's been reported out of Scotland is that I don't know if it's specific to this clinic or if it's just being done countrywide or by the local municipality, but all donors are asked to answer all questions on the form. They're trying to promote inclusiveness, which will make people mad all by itself, because they don't want to assume up front that somebody appearing to be a man is what we would say is biologically male, right? I mean, they're trying to make sure that they're not doing that. So this, to me, is probably the root of the objection, right? Like not liking that process. Because again, it's a pretty simple thing. I can't be pregnant. The answer is no. And I go on to give blood.
But what a miracle if you were.
It would be like that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wait, what is that one? That sounds familiar.
I think
twins.
No.
I hate to even say this. I think, though, the issue is that's why they were using last Mother's Day, like birthing persons, because if you were born a biological female and became a man, you would check the box man, and then you could be pregnant.
Right. Again, that's why they're doing it the way that they are.
I'm not.
I don't know that I don't know how common it is or anything, but that's why they've got the form the way it is. This way, they need one form. It covers all humans.
I guess
and you just answer yes or no.
I just want to know, was it a paper form? Because the paper form doesn't know what you checked, right? So I've checked no or not applicable, right? They have that.
Right.
And I can see how it would be, irritating to this man if it were an online thing.
If donating blood is important to you, and it obviously is because this is something he's been doing for years, and good for him, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that would be in any way a deal breaker. I'd be just like, nope, and I'll go do my thing because I think this is an important thing.
Again, I think it depends on how it was presented.
Excuse me. Ads playing over here. There is nothing worse. There is nothing worse in the entire world. In the entire world than autoplay ads on a website.
And it's always on local news stations. Have you noticed that?
Except leaving your volume on when you're in a radio studio.
Oh, I did that.
Which I do all the time.
I did that so you guys.
I do it like every day.
I only did that so you guys could hear the incredible voicemail we got not too long ago. From a person who was
perturbed.
It's okay.
Perturbed and something wrong with him.
That's okay. We don't mind.
No, we love
you
the
can
people
call
who.
in if you're perturbed.
Yeah.
And if there's something wrong with you, that's fine.
Just can't do it now because we're out of time.
Yep. Sorry.
We can do it tomorrow, though. We'll all be back. It's Amy Marks, Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you. That is the show DGS coming up after the news on KMOX.
Rachel and Dave here for Smart Mouth. Smart Mouth is simply the only mouth rinse you ever need to think about again. Unlike Scope, unlike Listerine, it actually has a chemical reaction that kills bad breath for 12 hours. Use it twice a day and you are covered.
There's so many Smart Mouth products to choose from. They have their dry mouth rinse, their clinical DDS, their original formula, plus whitening toothpaste, and their delicious mints. To learn more, go to smartmouth.com/Glover for a $2.50 off coupon.
What are you watching?
Those governor candidates accusing each other. It's awful. I've done my research and I'm voting for Gary Rabine. Gary Rabine talks about real issues, slashing property taxes, loosening restrictions on businesses, and supporting law enforcement. Rabine built one of America's largest paving companies from scratch.
I'm Gary Rabine. I can and will beat Pritzker.